You fucking liar. Look at you, right off the bat. Right off the bat, you were caught in your fucking lie.
I wasn't caught because we weren't live.
It doesn't matter because Anthony heard you. He's going to whoop your ass now. All right, we're going to talk about Boba Fett. We're going to talk about...
Boom, boom, boom. Hey!
Hey! We're going to talk about a little about Peacemaker. I know you guys aren't really huge fans of Peacemaker, but it's one of the #1 movies or shows streaming right now, beating out a lot of other big shows. So I thought, why not? Let's talk about it a little bit.
Let's go.
Let's go. Could be.
Could be.
I didn't finish. I'm like halfway through, or a little bit over halfway through this week's, but I don't care about the spoilers. Don't care. So you can talk about it all you want.
Don't care.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it.
All right. So let's just get
let the games begin.
Yeah.
Hey!
Hey!
What's
Who
going
came in
on?
clutch?
I came in clutch.
Came in clutch.
No, you gotta tickle their balls a little bit.
I've never seen that video, by the way. I've only seen that one clip.
Yeah,
and that was
I don't
it.
know where that comes from.
Ryan's seen it because Ryan's a big TikToker.
I haven't seen that particular TikTok personality, so I don't know. I don't know where he got it from, but apparently it was in his feed.
Right on. What's up? We got Jesse Allen in the chat. What's going on, Jesse? We got Saggy Melons. We got Adrian. Anthony Beltre. Adrian Beltre is actual a baseball player. He was. He says, what about the Mandalorian episode was great. Set up for the season 3. Yeah, I think it was really good episode.
It was fire. Yeah.
Saucy.
The problem is that we fell right into it. This Mandalorian episode was great. Well, it was actually the Book of Boba Fett, but you wouldn't know that because it's so heavily
Mandalorian
on
2.5.
Yeah, I was like, oh, cool, Mandalorian season 3 started right now. That's awesome. So we'll talk about that show in just a little bit. I really loved it. I thought it was really good.
Yep.
I loved. I thought it was probably the best episode of the entire series. What?
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey. We got Fear Jason in the chat saying, "Yo, what's up?
What up? What's good?
We got Prima in the chat saying, "What's up, guys?" You got Nerd Cosa Nostra saying, "What everyone looking forward to a great episode." Well, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, man.
You got Gillis 15 saying, "What's up, nerds?"
Yo, what's up,
Gillis? Man? Sean Spencer saying, "What's up, guys?" You have Sickness saying, "Nerds, what up?"
What up?
We don't have that clip.
We don't have that clip on this one, unfortunately. I'll give him this one. No, that was lame. Okay, so
breaking news: Sickness.
Did Phil have an eye accident? Wait, is he Daredevil?
No. His eyes are dilated.
I'm just letting you guys know right now. I am a hell of a lawyer. I'm a good lawyer.
And if you throw a brick at his head, he'll catch it without even looking at it.
But apparently, that'll be all you see of him, and he'll never show up in the Marvel Universe ever again, unless you're a scooper and say otherwise.
Don't you have to die in the Flash or something, old man Batman? Something like that?
No, I survived to Batgirl, bitch.
I'm canon.
I'm canon.
I'm canon. And speaking of canon, David F. Sandberg took to Twitter today to let everybody know what is canon. Okay, with this fire image right here, and here it is. Canon. There's Ben Affleck as Superman.
There he is. Switched roles.
And he did that with, obviously this was down below because somebody else put Cavill's head on the body, which sadly I wish we could have seen this.
It would have been a better scene. It would have been more exciting for everyone to see connectivity.
Yeah.
But yeah,
unfortunately they weren't able to make it happen. But this would have been in the black suit. I mean, we knew it was never going to be the black suit because in the theatrical cut he was in the blue suit, so they were going to roll with the blue suit all all the way through. So,
but at least it would have been dope.
Yeah,
it would have been dope.
It would have been dope. Just to see Cavill, it would have set a good tone for the DCEU moving forward. Yeah. But unfortunately, they just could not figure that out.
The same thing with like Ben Affleck showing up in Suicide Squad. They just kind of pop in, every now and again in different movies and things like that. That would have been great. But
indeed,
brothers can't get their shit straight.
Speaking of Shazam, now there was a lot of talk this week, and last
Gonna
week,
play last night.
and the week before, and last night that there was going to be a screening of The Flash.
Yes.
And everyone was certain Flash it's happening Wednesday. Somehow everyone knew the day. Wednesday,
Yeah.
Wednesday. Wednesday is the day The Flash will be screened, right? And so
people
They
were
got
like,
the,
"Oh,
uh,
it's
they
the
got the
Flash.
lightning bolt wrong.
It's the Flash.
It's the
It's
Flash.
for sure gonna be the Flash." And it's like, okay, sure,
Yeah, exactly. And then what happened? Turns out it wasn't The
Shazam.
Flash. It was Shazam 2 Fury of the Gods screening. Now everyone's wondering, now why are they screening this movie when it doesn't come out for like what another
Another
till
year.
next
year and a half.
Year and a
second.
half.
For some reason, I thought the 6th, but it's the 2nd. June 2nd, 2023 is when that movie comes out.
It had to have been an assembly cut or something. No
2023.
visual effects are complete for that.
Yeah.
That's a long ways from now.
It is a long way.
Yeah, it
They
is.
probably showed like a rough.
Rough
cut.
right. Rough,
I mean,
really,
some of it's
really
done
rough
by
cut.
now. I would imagine some of the special effects is done.
It's sort of like if they
basic.
showed the Justice League, you'd just see Ray in his pajamas. You know, it'd be that same, sort of. Oh yeah, there.
Oh, hey, how about
There you
that?
Oh, that's weird too. That'd be the rough cut. That's the
The
rough
Zeever
cut.
League.
The Zeever League, the League of Zeev. So it turns out that it was Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods that they screened. I haven't heard any feedback from it. Have you guys heard any feedback from
Bro,
anybody who has
Well,
seen it?
side of it.
we're under NDA. We can't really say anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
but
you-
that
if
doesn't
you-
always apply though. People tend to.
If you think about it, when movies are screened, most of the time there's not this large a gap before it comes out. So they were probably
No.
like,
Typically, like you're
if-
not going to get a screening for like The Flash until maybe summer.
yeah,
that makes more sense.
They'll do like maybe 2 or 3 times. They'll do like and they'll test screen different audiences.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
The
So-
talk is that they screened it because there's potential talks of it maybe moving up. That's the narrative that I keep
that's-
seeing float around. Is that
And it makes
if
sense.
this tests well, why not move it up? I mean, June 2nd, 2023 is a pretty large in a way date. Let's be real,
exactly.
right? But like then you think about pushing it to this year, and it's like, well, this year's packed between not only just what DC's got going on, but look at what the other side's doing too. You really want to take your chances up against what the other side's got going on? I doubt it. No.
And maybe they might be thinking of just moving it up to like January of next year.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Just a little bump up. And I can see that, and that's why it was just such an odd. What if they told everyone who came to watch this screening were you about to screen The Flash, but they were like, ha ha, nah, it's Shazam 2.
Ah,
You know what I'm saying? So
damn it!
I don't think with it being this large a gap to the original release date, like Phil was saying, probably gonna get bumped up. Maybe they were just like, the NDA means not 3 months. You can't say shit until we tell you can.
Can't
And
say shit
so-
till the movie comes out.
Yeah. Well, but you know how they do the reviews? They'll have like a what the fuck
An
is it?
embargo if you're right.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe they told them, nah, there ain't gonna be. We'll let you know when the embargo lift is. Be joyous that you got to come see this footage we
shit.
showed you.
Dude, I'm
What?
streaming the episode on our old channel. I wasn't streaming it on the new channel. Now I just turned that on. Shit.
What are you doing?
Dude, I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm doing.
All right,
Dawson
guys. So
usually sets
if
this up.
you guys can help tweet us out, we are live.
Yeah, we are live.
and,
I mean,
check us out on our new.
No,
channel.
it's
it is now.
no, it was because I always have it playing on my other screen.
Okay,
You
well,
always have-
it's
while
been
we
on-
work
it's
out
really
the
cool,
the
man.
kinks. Just like, share, and subscribe.
Like, share, and subscribe. There we go.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Oh, there we go. Numbers are going up. Here we go.
Here we go. Now we're live.
live.
Well, Lord. Oh, yeah. No, I think that's pretty. That's probably why we hadn't seen anybody say anything yet. I mean, and we all know, like, especially if they do happen to move the movie up, we have seen the epitome of effective, fast visual effects. Zack Snyder's Justice League got announced, and bro, they delivered when that shit came out. So like, there's we've seen it happen at a time when like this time is compressed. This is this compressed time that you have to finish these visuals.
Yeah,
and we've seen it happen before. So if they do move the release date up for Shazam, I've seen it. We've all seen it. We've seen it happen.
We watched Shazam too.
What? Oh,
I've seen Shazam 2. Yeah, it was great.
It was good. We just
Yeah.
can't
you know
say
what I'm talking
anything
about. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what
If they have to squeeze the clock on visual effects for Shazam 2, I've seen it done in a way that was absolutely immaculate, and so I have no doubt that it can be done, and it might be what it is, Phil. Man, they might be like, yo.
They also very well just could also be testing it to see if they might need to go back and reshoot anything too.
Yep.
They do that as well. Yeah, well, they still
which
have
I'm sure
them,
is already budgeted into their budget in production.
It is.
So
for reshoots, they do have that, and sometimes they do put that out there for reception.
And also, Sandberg has been releasing these weird ass fucking like. I
don't know because he blocked this out on.
No,
sucks to suck.
That rocks. That's a badge of honor. I don't give a fuck. I'm glad somebody fucking blocked me that fucking does something in the industry. That's pretty cool.
I don't know. Most of the shit he posted on Instagram, but he was posting these weird look like GoPro photos, where it's just like I don't know. It's weird. I know y'all seen.
He's
it,
got
right?
one like a fisheye lens pointed at him.
Yeah. And it looks weirder than a normal fisheye lens, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Where is it at?
It's on his Twitter page.
Is it on his Twitter?
It's either on his Twitter or his Instagram. One of the other.
Yeah. Just weird fucking. I was like, what is that?
His character. David Sandberg.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, we talk about weird posts, and today, right before the show started, there was a post from Ezra Miller that he made towards a group of people that are out there. I'm not going to play the video because I really don't want to bring up, who he's talking about or whatever. But I thought that this video was highly controversial. Obviously, he was doing this. He was fired up and he wanted to make a statement towards these individuals. I don't think this was the smartest thing to do, but it was.
Did you see the ring on his finger?
Yeah,
I did.
That's kind of what we're getting at.
That's why it wasn't a smart thing to do, because that's like hey, remember what movie I'm going to be in? It's like, you're out there saying that. Oh,
I know.
What's funny is that he doesn't really or hasn't really had an online persona, as far as interaction or anything like that. He just got one, and it's like he's still kind of fresh off the off the bench, and he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna go hard," and it's like, okay.
Well, I mean, you can go hard on things, but it's when you go after a specific group of people that he was going after. That's a very controversial thing to do. And so I wish him the best of luck. I mean, I would not want to get involved with people who are involved in that group. So it was a bit interesting. So I don't think I'll play the video. What do you guys think? Should we play it or not?
No, we're entertainment news, and we're gonna stick with entertainment.
Well, in the sense of entertainment, I mean, how do you think this is gonna affect the movie The Flash?
I don't know that it's gonna affect the movie per se, but I will say that it might come up later for his career down the line. I don't know. It really kind of depends on if this picks up steam, if other people see it, how they react, if Warner Brothers sees it, how they react, et cetera, et cetera. Like it's honestly, it's such a fresh thing that people are still just kind of stewing at the fact that Ezra Miller just really went out into the world and went like live, whatever,
next thing you're gonna
just kind of posted that video and was just like, boom, there it is. And everyone's just kind of like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it was I mean, Ryan, do you think this will have any effect on the movie moving forward?
On the movie, some people will go and watch the movie just because of the stance that he took, and some people, I don't give a shit, but some people won't. But I think that the next thought is going to be, and I'm just sort of thinking about this on a macro level, on a high level, is that.
What up, Neil?
They're going, somebody's going to bring up the whole choking the girl video, and because he doesn't really have, again, like I said, he's fresh off the bench. He doesn't really have a whole lot of videos out there, but what he does have out there, it can be seen as controversial, and it's just like, yo, is this guy, somebody like that well represents X, Y, and Z? And does everybody stand? Just I mean, like I definitely I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. As far as like the situation or if there's something happened or whatever, I have no clue because I'm not plugged in like that. We all stand with him as far as like the sentiment. Yeah, like if you're part of some group that does something horrible to another group, then fuck that group. But I don't know how that's gonna affect
there was
him,
a very extreme use of words there, and in terms of what he said explicitly into what these people should spend their time doing with their day, right? And it's like, I understand exactly where you're coming from because again, this is a very disturbingly dastard group of people, obviously. Right? But at the same time, the thing you're asking to do and the thing you're actually not even asking, the thing you're telling this group to do is just like, I mean, again, this is a group who partakes in some very equal nefarious acts. True. But it's just like, two wrongs don't make a right, right?
Exactly. And that's the part where I'm like, you may have overstepped in that one last, like, we'll do it for you or something. That was...
Yeah, it was like, what is that supposed to mean?
I don't think he said we'll do it for you, but...
Did he?
He did.
Yes, he did.
He did.
And I was like, okay, that took it to a different area, level, whatever. And I was like, because I don't know where he was going with that. I was like, I understand you. I'm with you. I get you. And then, okay, you lost me with the last part. So.
Neil, you gotta be on fucking Twitter, homie.
I know. Where's that, bro?
I know, Neil. What are you doing, man? I mean, I'm sorry.
Neil, hey, homie, you gotta get back on there. That's because he said we're talking in cold talk, but you get the gist of it if you were.
The video was on Instagram. I mean, come on, that's your home turf.
That's your home turf, and you don't know what's going on. Come on, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, look, that group is bad. It's end of
100%.
Yes,
it is.
1,000%. 1,000%.
But when you go to try and aim at that kind of group, I would do
with such ferocity and such unchained ferocity, singularly too. Unfiltered. It's just like, exactly. Yeah, bingo.
Unfiltered. Right. There we go.
Yeah, right.
Just superbly unfiltered. Like, see, y'all get it. But seriously, like doing something like that is like you're legit asking for something to happen out of something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I would agree. But hopefully nothing does come of that, and and we kind of move on from there. But moving on to our next topic, I'm going to call this some breaking news. So this is Clay Staub. Now, Ryan's a huge fan of Clay Staub. He loves his posts.
Yes.
This is the one that he's been kind of posting.
His camera work.
He's been doing this over and over. He's been making this. And you see Nightmare Batman. You got Cyborg. You got Green Lantern there by Wayne T. Carr. The Joker. More Cyborg. Liz Wonder's Ares. God of
Wonder
War.
apparently is replacing Gal Gadot.
There we go.
Hey, real quick before we get into this, hey Neil, I sent you a link on Instagram to Ezra's post. So
he also sent you a link on Instagram to join Twitter.
No, it just said
Start a new account.
Well,
Anthony knows. Look, he's like, Neil, make a new Twitter.
Just call it a regular Neil 2.0.
Yeah,
a regular Ryan.
That's what I did when I came.
Or just call it regular Neil. And then it's like, okay, it's not as cool. Yeah, I mean that might have been it as well. Sickness. I didn't think about that. That could have easily been what he was talking about, or what kind of fueled it. Yes, he is Jewish. So, but here's the image here now. So Clay Staub keeps posting this image that he's been putting together. What do you think it means? Do you think it means anything, or do you think he's just having fun with the fans? Let's start with Ryan.
I'm gonna go with fun with the fans. Yeah, that's pretty much all I can say at this point in time. Yeah, I'd love to elaborate, but that's all I see here. It's just, I mean, taking Liz Wonder and putting her in image. Yes, it is the what is the warrior god
of War.
God of War.
Ares.
God of War version of
Professor
Wonder
Lupin.
Woman. So yeah, I mean, I get it. You know, she got a fire costume. Love the costume. Love the, you know, love what Liz does. But he's using her versus, you know, Gal Gadot. And this is a Photoshop job. He could definitely, you know, have grabbed her helmet and just like put another image of Gal in the helmet. But he honored Liz by putting her in there. And I think, and he's using, just different shots that he has found online. So none of this is stock footage. None of this. This is just stuff that he's found online. So, it's trash belts rumors. So yeah, I mean, you know, I just think he's just having fun with the fans. You know, he was a part of the crew. He did work on Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I just think that he's like, yo, Zack had fun. Let me have some fun.
Anyone else want to weigh in, Phil? I mean, do you think this means anything?
I think okay. I think what this represents, what Clay did here, I think honestly this is just a more appropriate way of keeping hope alive as opposed to other means by other people in the fandom, if you catch my drift, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I think this is also just a really solid tribute to what this world could look like and what could transpire. I mean, obviously, you know, that cyborg piece in the corner is from the standee. Yeah, right. There's two, but the one I'm referring to in the corner is from the standee when they showed off like the behind the scenes footage. Obviously, you've got Liz Wonder's helmet there, like that. That looks absolutely phenomenal. Like, I think if there was a closer rendition, it's almost like looking right at Gal Gadot if she were in, you know, that God of War vestige, and then of course Leto's Joker above him, Wayne T. Carr. Like, this is just a really nice. If it probably is just, you know, having fun with the fans, sure, but it's also, again, I think the best way and most positive way to keep hope alive for something like this to continue.
What about you, Anthony?
Pretty much. I mean, I feel what Phil was saying. That's absolutely a possibility, but also he could just be, you know, just putting some fire shit out there. So it looks fire. Absolutely, it does. That shit actually looks great. Yeah, actually, I like that. I'd put that up behind me on a fucking. It's
definitely a cool image. And this is the newest one right here. I mean, this is the Flash. It looks like. Everyone's like, "What? He's got a red eye. Like, who cares?" And maybe he's looking at something. I don't know.
And now he's evil.
He's evil Flash.
He's a Flash.
Red Flash.
Red Flash.
Eobard Thawne.
Eobard. That's what it is. That's what it means. No, but I think, you know, sort of what Phil was saying is that
he's seen the Flash movie. Did he get an invite?
Oh yeah, he got an invite. No, but similar.
But then he ended up watching
the Shazam.
Yeah, he watched Shazam. So he watched.
Everybody in the theater was like, "The fuck is this?"
Damn it! This is not the Flash. It's Fear of the Gods.
Warner Brothers is fucked up again.
I'm gonna get more popcorn. No, but I think this is a very positive way of keeping hope alive for the Snyderverse, as opposed to what some other people are doing out there, which you can call, it can be aggressive, it can be whatever. But I think this is a much more peaceful way of doing it, using a medium of art to sort of, you know, inspire more hope into these projects. And hopefully one day we get to see this project in its entirety. Yeah. You know, but at this point, who knows?
Why is it so much to ask for just two movies? Like, they would have been fine. We've had this conversation a couple different times with a couple different circles. Like, you know, it really doesn't boil down to much. Let the dude just make the two movies. What is such a just, oh God,
Zach kicked Toby Emmerich's puppy. And
he did something.
He did something that like Toby is like, that shit's unforgivable. He spit in my coffee.
No.
Also, you bring up a point. Like Toby Emmerich, right? He when he came on to WB and effectively slashed anything that had anything extra, you know, that wasn't New Line proper. Anything that was DC was probably going to get shafted one way or another. And that, like, the New Line way of thinking, like with Walter Hamada, keep the budget low, keep the budget low, keep the budget low. If you're not going to spend the money, you're not going to have the quality. Yeah, just saying.
Yeah, I mean, he slashed the budget. That was the reason why he brought him over from James Wan's, you know, Monsterverse or whatever that was, and you know, of Insidious and
because all the movies were like $8 million.
Yeah,
because they were
very small, moderately budgeted movies
that were very successful
and very successful. Yes. And so, I think even the same thing. Look at Toby Emmerich's the way he handled Warner Max.
Mhm.
So Warner Max was supposed to actually, possibly be a venue for DC films to sort of, do the HBO Max deal, where they would have, a focus. And then he just eliminated that. And now there's talks or whatever rumblings about, them bringing that back. But yeah, I don't know.
You mentioned that Warner Max was effectively going to be like this outlet for DC on HBO Max, and it's like, I think to when I don't remember what article it was or when it was, but it was around the time right before Disney Plus launched, or around that time, and right around the time Marvel announced their Disney Plus stuff. I don't remember who it was, but somebody at Marvel was like, we just opened up an entire new wing at Marvel Studios dedicated purely to the Disney Plus stuff, and it's like.
Also, I think another factor came in because you look at obviously Zach does BVS, right? They fuck with it, take 30 minutes out of it, and entirely changes the entire movie. So the movie comes out, doesn't make a big, and they're upset, right? So then a couple months later they release the Ultimate Edition, right? So that shit comes out, but at the same time, so when as Zach was already working on Justice League before BVS even released.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then the numbers for BVS aren't what they expected. So then they start coming in and they're like, "Oh, we need to make it more Marvelized. We need to put jokes in here. Trailer needs to have a fucking."
But it wasn't just the money. If you remember, it was the critics.
Yeah, exactly.
The critics and the money, and that's why they were like,
everyone
change it.
With everyone. So they started coming in talking about we need to have a catchy tune in our fucking trailers. We need to do all this shit, right? And so we saw what happened. We already know it's well documented, what happened with Zack Snyder, with Autumn. And so Zack left the project. They come in, they do this and that. It fucking bombs, right? So we saw what happened a few years ago on November 17th. What turned the tide was how hard fucking Release the Snyder Cut trended, right? So that shit trends hard as fuck. Remember Zach said this. The next couple days, Toby Emmerich is calling him talking about, so you want to go ahead and do this thing? And Zach says, yeah, but then he's like, well, we'll just release it as is with no visual effects, nothing finished or whatever. Zach's like, nah, I'm not gonna do that shit, right?
Yeah.
So he reaches, so HBO Max comes on as the people who are going to potentially at this point distribute it. Yeah. And so keep in mind, Tommy Emmerich and him, nah, we just release it as is. So we can say this is why this movie wouldn't have been successful, with no finished visual effects or whatever. So Zach gets a meeting with HBO Max and Keelar. You can say what you want about it now, but at the point in time when that happened, him and Deborah pitched the movie, and it was like, yeah, here's all this money to finish doing all of it. And it was worth it because the movie's absolutely incredible.
Yes.
That's where I think the thing is with Emmerich is like, you motherfucker.
Well, there was two other executives, right?
Yeah.
That gave it the green light for the Snyder Cut to be completed.
Yeah.
And then they got let go.
Yep.
Yes,
so
they did.
If you're sitting there telling Zack Snyder, if you're the person saying, "Hey, Zack, yeah, we'll put it out there, but we're not going to give you more money to finish it. Just put it out there," and he's like, "Nah, I'll just talk to these couple of people and see if they'll agree to give me more money to finish it," and they do, that'll piss the motherfucker off. Like, and no matter how right or wrong that is, like we all agree that that's the right thing that happened. What up, Joey? What's good, homie?
What's up, Joey? Man, what's up?
That was. We always sit here and we talk about it and we say, well, what the fuck could he, like you said earlier, Ryan, he kicked this cat. Like, what the fuck really happened? I think that was a big factor in they went with HBO Max and Keelar and them gave them all of that money to finish that movie when they really wanted to release it without visual effects finished or any of that shit so that they can prove a point. Well, he went and did this, and the movie was absolutely phenomenal. And then they had no choice. They're pissed at him for that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I think Toby was pissed before that because I think someone forced Toby to call Zach. So
they probably said, "Hey, man."
Yeah. So something
the noise was
between
really loud
BVS,
yesterday. You might need to do something.
Yeah, and I don't and personally I don't believe that it was just because Zach was filming scenes behind Toby's back, and they had somebody was on set watching him. Like what was that other guy? I forget John. John Berg.
Michael
John
Uslan.
Berg. No, right. Well, also Jeff Johns, John Berg were on set to sort of monitor what Zach was doing. So before that, there had to have been something else that kind of set Toby off with like, yo, we got to put a clamp down on this Zach dude. He is, I hear
but that makes you wonder.
There was also Kevin Tsujihara was also in on that as well. He mandated the film be 2 hours.
Yeah.
Right. And everyone.
But who was there on a day-to-day basis? Who was watching him? Who was part of the script writing process? Who was part of the story? Jeff Johns. And so when you go back to
Joss Whedon, Jeff Johns,
exactly. So now if you go back to that claim recently on Reddit,
we're still making a shit ton of money on DC property. Jeff Johns.
Yeah. If you go back to that claim saying that how he tried to impose his everything he wrote as a canon, then it would kind of make sense that after a while he would say, "Look, this is what he's doing with the characters. That's not the characters. Like I know the characters. He's changing everything." Yeah, you're right. Let's do it.
Like Wonder Woman doesn't use a shield or a sword; she uses her whip.
Lasso.
She gets blown away by wind too.
Says no one ever is what I'm saying.
This is what we were saying when we saw that.
That's dumb. You're dumb.
This is also the same guy who wrote scenes for Suicide Squad and forced David Ayer to shoot them. It's just like, you've got to have some kind of ego to be like, yo, you got to do this, that, and the other thing with these characters that I know SFA about.
Yeah, he came from DC as an acclaimed writer, and he's a good writer. But he comes in and he's like, yo, I know how to translate from
the page to the screen.
Right, from the page to the screen. Yeah. And again, one of his best friends or good friends is Kevin Feige. So Kevin Feige was in somebody's ear, probably Toby Emmerich or even Kevin Tsujihara, and was like, yo, give this cat a shot. He can do what I'm doing. I've created what I'm doing in Marvel. I know you guys like it. We go out to dinner all the time, and we talk about that shit. I laugh more than you guys do, but take Jeff and allow him to sort of be your architect instead of Zach, who had an entire plan already written out. Right. And so, and that's sort of where everything it was never synergy. They brought in and they were brought in to butt heads, usurp, pull the rug out from under. That's why you have this drama that we're all sort of trying to have to put together the pieces out here, and sort of say, hey, this should just. I mean, you guys don't have a good ecosystem, and
no, we're not blaming Kevin.
Not blaming Kevin Feige, Anthony. Come on.
Yeah, relax.
No, we're not blaming Kevin directly.
The whole.
But he did have
Johns.
He did have a hand in promoting his friend, which is Jeff Johns. You can't deny that.
I mean, I have no proof of that whatsoever.
I do. I mean, I just saw this Shazam too. I know exactly what.
Sure.
Relax.
I think with Johns, the case goes all the way back to even Man of Steel before he was even the executive he is now, because he notably had issues with that movie. Then once BVS came out, you could almost smell where the criticism from those journalists got their info from. Like a lot of that movie was on the internet in written form before it was even, put out to promote. And it sucks because that movie had cannons targeted at it even before it was even released.
Yep.
Yes, it did.
And I feel like a large part of it is because a lot of it was like, guess what? This is what I heard from super so-and-so's, but I'm not going to say who it was because I can lose my job and they can lose their job. It's like, well, now if you kind of trace things back, you can almost guarantee where some of these leaks might have come from.
Yeah. So we probably can agree there was a lot of factors in that. I could just every time I've ever thought about that particular thing, what I was saying earlier about just can you imagine sitting in a boardroom and you're Toby Emmerich and you've already told Zach, yeah, we could put it out there, but we're not going to finish anything. And then hearing HBO Max tell him, oh, no, dude, how much money do you need to finish this? Because this sounds interesting. Also, they needed something to launch their fucking streaming service. Like they needed a big thing to launch their streaming service. Yeah. And they tell him how much money do you need after he's already told them, I'm not giving you any more money.
But see, that's the thing is that look, they give him all this money, they give him all that money to finish this movie, right? To finish Zack Snyder's Justice League, but you don't see the big, huge, at least in my opinion, a big, huge marketing campaign for Zack Snyder's Justice League on HBO Max. Subscribe to HBO Max, describing what it's about. Just really, I mean, look, we know that there was a big social media campaign, which we were, we interacted with that, and that was great. Yeah. But it felt like the general audience didn't really know enough about the movie in order for it to be like even bigger.
Once Keelar and them gave them the money to finish the movie, the rest of that shit goes back to Warner Brothers. They're supposed to like market that shit, and they weren't. No, they were mad.
They weren't. And the thing is that's why I say it's not about the money, because they could have marketed and because they're the distributor, they could have made a shit ton of money off of this thing,
bro.
They could have milked this thing like there's nothing. And this is what they are, right here. It's just
I don't want your money. I want Aquaman.
Yo, that's the money they could have made from this entire thing, not just Zack Snyder's Justice League, but the things going forward. Like you were saying, Phil, earlier, it's just 2 more movies, man. It's just 2 more movies. And in this day and age, like the special effects and stuff the things you can do with a smaller budget are like, you really can do some things. So like, I think they're just kicking money into the sewer right now. Like, we don't want money. We just want to be mean.
It's not about the money. It's about the power. It's about the control.
Yes, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Yep. But here's the thing, though, is that look where they're going now, right? Everyone can have their arguments about where the direction that DCU is going in now.
That's dumb. You're dumb.
Right. But I am glad to see that they're enriching the universe and bringing in more characters that we hadn't seen before. Mm-hmm. Because I think that
I do agree with that.
Yeah. But I do think that when Shazam is going to come out, I mean, the idea of possibly having it come out sooner might be better, because I mean, you need to establish your new universe as fast as possible. So you figure you have Black Adam, then you have the Flash, then you have Aquaman, then you have Shazam. I mean,
the quicker they can release things, the quicker they can greenlight new things.
Exactly, because I mean, after Shazam, nothing else has really been set up for what Blue Beetle.
Well,
Blue Beetle.
Yeah,
that's the only other one.
Yep.
Yeah,
I want him to whip it out.
I like how he likes to play his own clip.
I do. I love that clip.
but I mean, having said that, I mean, to me, it would make a lot of sense to have Shazam come out sooner. But I think it all depends on how it comes out. Now, the problem that what's it called? Aquaman's going to have is that's coming out going head to head against Avatar.
Moving.
Like, what's happening here? I think that's going to move
under the sea movies. And they're basically what it's going to be. Is it's going to be a sort of a balance or a fight between who's got the better underwater CG? That's
Avatar under the water.
It's going to be underwater.
Yeah, there's a lot of underwater. Yeah,
so
really,
it's going to be underwater Aquaman and underwater Avatar, and that's going to be sort of head to head. And they're going to be comparing each other.
One of them's going to.
That's how it's going to be.
I think Aquaman's going to move. I think Aquaman moves probably to like March.
I don't.
Here's the thing, though.
They made made a shit ton of money on that time slot, and they're banking on that shit again.
That's true. That is very true.
The thing is, which one is more familiar right now to the general audience? Not
to the general audience, of course, is Aquaman.
Yes.
Out.
Avatar
waited
came
too
out
long for Avatar.
Exactly. So like they can keep that if they want to, and then when they open up and don't fucking make what they thought they would. Like, I like the first Avatar. Not a
Avatar. You got James Cameron, who's still a name, and
yes, he
with
is.
general audience, he's still a name. Just like Christopher Nolan hasn't done a lot of shit since that last time travel thing.
Tenet, that was like 2 years ago. No. When's James Cameron's last movie? When was James Cameron's last movie? That dude is
Terminator 2.
Forgettable to the general audience.
So he executive produced Alita Battle Angel, and he also executive produced Terminator Dark Fate. I don't think he's directed a movie since
it's
Avatar.
Since Avatar.
Okay, so Cameron is sort of taking a backseat, just like George Lucas did. You know, he produced a lot of shit, didn't direct it.
Someone said George Lucas.
And then he's going back to the director's chair again after a period of time. But I think when you see the visuals of Avatar 2, your argument kind of it's not as strong when that comes out.
Yeah,
because then that's going to build its own momentum and steam. Yeah. And then again, I believe you're going to see two different underwater experiences. That's like, well, and they're going to release at the same time. Usually with like family, outings and shit like that, especially with this COVID shit, it's going to be, well, which one do we go to? It's to see it on the big screen to make the money that they want to make. So that's going to be your argument right there, is going to be which underwater experience are people going to go see.
Right.
I think.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, when it comes to like Aquaman, that movie made well over $1 billion internationally, right? Same deal with Avatar over 12 years ago in 2010. Like it's reason to stand that both films could very well could have an even box office, or one could trounce the other. I'm not entirely sure. As far just as the popularity of each one goes, I have to give the edge to Aquaman because it is so fresh in the general audience's mind.
Yeah,
Avatar is.
And Jason Momoa is a global superstar. Right. What they have great stars in Avatar, but they're not. First of all, most of them's faces aren't going to be on the screen. It's going to be
what the fuck ever, Droga.
It came out a long ass.
Relax, Droga. Okay, we
over 10 years
we don't have
ago.
a stat team spitting stats.
He's like, no. He's just saying that it was filmed in New Zealand, which is his cousins. And so,
he wasn't even born yet. He was not even born yet.
Yeah, right. What I'm saying is, like, for the most part, Avatar, in my understanding, this second one, the first one, the actors' real faces weren't on the screen less than 50% of the time. They're going to be in that what they call them?
The blue people.
Okay, no,
the Na'vi
motion capture.
The Na'vi, yes, they call. So the Na'vi was on the screen for the most part. So that's already like a disconnect between seeing Jason Momoa. I don't know if Nicole Kidman's come out, but you got what I'm saying, is like, as far as the actors go. That's why I agree.
Are you gonna have Tamora Morrison? Hey,
yeah, he gonna come in. Hey,
but that's kind of crazy to think about. Just recently, the news about how Tom Curry would have been dead in Zach's timeline. His father would have already been dead.
Yeah,
the urn. And so, that really changes a lot of things. I mean, he killed off a lot of people, and I'm sure that's where
Zach's the killer.
I just say this. I can imagine that's where someone like Jeff Johns probably had a lot of issues with what Zach was doing, because he's like, dude, you're killing off all the characters before we can canonize them and create a bigger universe.
He was probably sore about Dick Grayson, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Dick Grayson was already dead. Now, Aquaman's father is dead. Mara's parents are dead. You know what I mean? So you couldn't have a lot of these characters show up because, look, everybody wanted the Snyderverse to continue. I wanted to continue as well. I would love for it to continue. But the only way that was ever going to happen, if you ask me, is that they would have had to have shifted when this movie came out. They would have had to have said, okay, now we're going to move forward from that canon, but they didn't, though.
They didn't.
Immediately, the Suicide Squad came out, and it was, you could tell this was a different
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
in Corto Maltese.
Jimmy Olsen was dead. Yes, that's another character.
Jimmy Olsen
was dead.
Wasn't Jimmy Olsen though?
But it wasn't Jimmy Olsen.
It didn't make any sense for it to be Jimmy, but I was just like, whatever.
It was a cover. It was an alias. It was that, nothing more. I don't get why people just get, he killed Jimmy Olsen. It's a CIA spook is a fucking alias. My God.
Well, but okay, so if you go back to the story, the narrative of Jeff Johns was put in a position where, they want him to be the next Kevin Feige, right? They're giving him all this power, they're giving him all this responsibility, right? And here he is, talking to Zack Snyder, and Zack's like, yeah, so Jimmy Olsen, dead. Like, I'm not going to use him. He'll just be like,
I mean, he's an ancillary character that's not needed.
Right.
You know? I mean,
but when you see all these characters being,
I mean, it's the same fucking thing with the damn Birds of Prey using Cassandra Cain. Like, they didn't even need to name this dude Jimmy Olsen. Like, who gives a fuck? You know,
right.
It was just sort of like, who cares?
But
He
what
could
I'm
be fucking
saying is
Tom
that-
Gilroy. Who gives a shit?
What I'm saying is that from Jeff Johns, he's probably thinking, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be this next like Kevin Feige. I'm co-president of DC Films. Like, no, like this is we need to change all this. He's killing off all these characters. He's doing this and that. Like, and he's probably working behind the scenes telling these guys, hey, look, we can make this even better, even stronger. And they probably say, all right, let's do it. Was he wrong?
After BVS, because he became president after the movie.
After,
Batman vs. Superman was being written, developed 2013, 2014, 2015, somewhere in that general time frame, if I'm not mistaken.
But you have to know that Jeff was working with Zach on the storyboards and shit like that, him and Jim Lee, because of course they're the two guys that when you go to DC, those are the two guys you're gonna fucking deal with. Those are the guys you're gonna. They're the ones that you're gonna talk to. So you got to know that he was working with Zach, and I'm sure at the time he was like, "Oh yeah, no, Zach, hey, that's a good idea. Yeah, we can do that. We'll put this on the board, whatever." And then when the studio heads came over and were like, "Yo, hey, what's going on here?" He's like, "Well, I said, I'm not gonna say that I said it was cool over here, but what I'm saying is that I know that hey, he's changing a lot of things." And so to sort of like tout his own, or peacock himself, he's like, "Yo, these are all the things that I've noticed." I didn't say anything because I'm just Jeff Johns, right, Feige? Yeah, I'm just Jeff Johns. And then he's like, "But I've got a list of not grievances, but I have a list of notes, and I think that hey, killing Dick and making him Jason, I think we can fix that in Suicide Squad." And then we can hire. I know that Jason Momoa loves Tamora Morrison, so we can hire him as Aquaman's dad, and we'll fix that. And then fucking Dolph Lundgren, we'll get him, and that'll be fire. And and then so I think that's sort of the route that he might have sort of taken. Again, I'm taking liberties,
especially on the heels of Batman vs Superman, when you got Rotten Tomatoes on the critics dogging on it, that opened the door for, okay, Jeff, what can we do to fix this? Because we need to compete with Marvel. How are we going to do that? And he's probably
do to make the critics sniff our ass.
Going off of what you're saying here, RJ, I see your point, but because I'm a huge Dick Grayson fan, I love me some Dick Grayson. Love Robin turning into Nightwing. That whole thing, right? I want him to whip it out. Hell yeah! I want him to whip it out, right? I'm just like, yeah.
There it is.
But I do understand that Grayson weighs a lot more on Batman than Tim Drake or than Jason Todd or even Barbara Gordon. Grayson is like his son. So him being dead, that would really mess with Bruce. With Jason being the one killed, like I can't see it's like, oh, hey, I lost a kid. That really sucked. But losing Grayson is like, holy shit.
That really sucked.
Yeah, that really sucked.
They go without the new one.
Versus
go to the
Tom
pound.
Curry being dead. See, the whole Tom Curry, that to me is like, that really doesn't matter, and I know it doesn't matter to you either, because you said it's not a big deal. But it's like, when they are dead, when you have dead parents, it just sort of gives that it makes it a little bit easier. You don't have to go through this whole tragic, like, I lost my parents thing that we always see in the Batman movie. It's like, oh, they got shot again. So I mean, it's the same thing. Like all these superheroes are suffering losses. Fucking Flash's parents. One gets incarcerated, the other one dies. He's the Todd man. He's the Todd. So, and then you've got Tom Curry who's dead, and that it's for Aquaman. It's like, okay, and I mean, so tragedy really sort of kind of the same thing with Spider-Man. The loss of what's her name?
Ben?
Aunt May. No,
Aunt
Aunt
May
May is fine.
I
But
think
Aunt
you
May
need to-
just recently.
Let's talk about what you were saying about Robin dying, because everyone's kind of get on your case about Jason Todd was important to Bruce as well, and it would have affected him as well.
Not really.
He wouldn't have been
when
like, well,
he
he's
died
dead.
in 1980. There was a hush. No one gave a shit. The only thing that Jason Todd is now is because they've resurrected his character, and he's new, he's different, he's the Red Hood now. And so that's interesting and that's fun and all that shit, right? That's fine. But at the time, like if you want to go in the hierarchy of like who Batman gives a shit about, Grayson is at the top. There is no one other than possibly Alfred. Maybe, I don't know. That's a close second. There's no one higher than Grayson on Bruce's level as far as like who he cares about. And I challenge anybody.
So here's my thing.
Even his fucking own son, Damian.
Okay.
Here's my thing. Okay. So if, like, I get the argument that, that Zack's continuity, his canon, would have limited in terms of the expanded universe, right? And I get that. I really do. But here's my thing. If you bring in Zack Snyder to make Man of Steel, and then you say, okay, we want to expand upon this, right? What does he do? Similar to what RJ was saying, he makes this sort of, you could say singular, he makes this storyline, this story arc for his characters, for Superman, for Batman, right? And so he has the story arc that he constructs with the help of Jim Lee and Jeff Johns, right? And so, similar to what Matt Reeves is doing, you tell Matt Reeves, hey, he tells WB, hey, look, I understand that
under the red hood, Marcus.
He tells WB, hey, look, I understand that this story is heavily connected to DCEU, the one that Ben was working on, all that. I really don't want to do that. I want to kind of do my own thing. I don't think that this movie should be connected and have the gravity of, of the weight of having all the DCEU attached to it. And they said, okay, well, we want to see what you got, because I mean his movies so far have been pretty fire. So they said, hey, go ahead and put it together and let us know what you come up with, right? Now, in that similar respect, when you get someone like Zack Snyder on board and you say, hey, okay, we want you to do this, he's coming at it probably from a similar approach of, this is going to be the universe that I'm constructing, right? But the problem is that what do you have? You have down the road, you have Disney that has Marvel that has this connected, big, vast, expanded universe that they're just blowing up.
Expanding universe,
ever expanding, and they're doing a fabulous job. Hear what anyone says. The MCU is doing a fantastic job. Now, when you compare that, if you had Matt Reeves doing this movie way back when, instead of Zack Snyder, if you had Matt Reeves, he would have ran into the same problem. Is that they would have said, okay, wait a minute, hold on. Am I the co-DC president, or is Zack Snyder the co-DC president? Because right now, he's constructing his own universe, killing off characters that I know are really rich characters. Who's in charge? And that's the problem, is that there was never... You told Zack to do something, so he becomes, quote-unquote, the architect of this universe, the Snyderverse, right, the DC universe, right? But then you bring in other people who all of a sudden have the notion, well, I'm in charge, so I'm going to push my weight around because I should have some say in what's going on. And now you have this tug of war, which led to what we ended up getting in 2017.
Well, right. and another big thread for Zack was the adopted son. So Clark was an adopted son, and then Grayson was an adopted son.
Right.
And then Lois and Bruce's son was going to be adopted by Clark. So his whole thing was like, adopted children are just as important, or if not more important, or the same importance as, natural born. So, and that was sort of the theme that he was going with at the time.
Right.
And so, I get where he was going. I understand it. And that,
Okay.
There you go.
When it comes to a dead Robin, this is a thing that that happened in 1988. I got the story right here. Death in the Family with Jason Todd, right? This is the entire crux of how a dead Robin came to be. And the impact of it is dauntless. It is just absolutely just all over the board as far as Batman fans are concerned, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to which Robin is dead specifically, or how, which traumatic event leads Batman to becoming more darker and more violent, it is up to the interpretation of whoever is crafting the story.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to comic book fans wanting everything to be so exactly like it was, historic comic continuity, and when people found out that Jason Todd was not the Robin that was dead, oh, Dick Grayson, what are you doing? Nightwing, oh man, what the hell are you doing, Zack Snyder? Let him tell his story. My God.
And that was
I
after
have to admit,
that was after he had
that was after right. That was after
That was
not
late.
only that,
Squad. We already saw that it was
Chris
Jason
McKay,
Todd and
who
Suicide
did
Squad.
Lego Batman, was also slated to make a Nightwing movie. He still wants to make a Nightwing movie.
Yes.
There was never, ever any kind of idea of just because he's dead in this world doesn't mean that the character cannot live on film.
Well, see, that's the thing
else.
is that we didn't have the multiple iterations like Matt Reeves is coming up with another Batman that's not connected.
But
we
we
didn't
already
have
did, though.
that yet.
If you honestly
And
think
we're
about
living in that
Warner
world.
Brothers, think about how Warner Brothers has made their superhero movies since way back when. They've had multiple versions of Superman and Batman.
Right,
and
but
now,
they were trying to construct what Marvel was constructing, and that was
True.
that is ingrained sort of in the subconscious or psyche of the general audience, right? And and also when you're watching a
that's where the
Batman,
hindrance comes in.
when you're watching a
Oh, yeah.
Batman movie, the general audience is always going to know who Dick Grayson is. Not so many people know who Tim Drake or Jason Todd,
Especially
or
Tim Drake.
Damian
Everyone's like,
Wayne.
or
Yeah.
right, not the general audience. Like, you take him in there and you're like, okay, who's Batman? Bruce Wayne. Okay,
And
who's
you know
Robin?
what?
Dick Grayson. Okay, who's Superman? Okay, that's Clark Kent.
When it comes to Robin specifically, like even look at other iterations of Batman. Batman the Animated Series took Jason Todd and Tim Drake, blended the two together. The Batman only showed off Dick Grayson. Teen Titans, again, Dick Grayson. Young Justice has Dick Grayson again, but also Tim Drake. In the animated new movie universe, it was Dick Grayson and Damian Wayne. So Jason Todd only got a lot of love in Under the Red Hood, on top of just a little bit.
And that's when his character really popped up. And then they did that run, the Outlaws, or Gotham
Red Hood and the
Outlaws, or
Outlaws.
something.
It's okay.
But what I'm saying is that he actually got his own team, and
He
they
became
sort of
popular
made
after
him
that
a
movie.
showcase character.
Yes.
And which he never got before. So people are now learning about Jason Todd. And then, there are fans of Jason, and, I'm a fan too. I like Under the Red Hood. I also like Death in the Family, that, is sort of a spinoff, sort of not really a sequel, but, it's weird, but I like it. I think it's cool. I like everything that they've done with the character so far. And except for maybe in Titans, it wasn't that great, but whatever.
Yeah. We don't talk about it.
Why did you say that name?
Yeah,
But no, and so my point, and the point that I was trying to make was that it's similar to what where is it? BlackRock 316 said. Oh, and that wasn't it. Damn it. RJ said it. They were clearly not on the same page. That's what I'm trying to point out. It's abundantly clear, and the fact is that it's just, to me, it's very similar to what they're doing with Matt Reeves, saying, "Hey, build build your universe," and then as he's building his universe, as he's about to release his part 2, they're like, "Oh, here comes Jeff Johns, here comes John Berg, and we're gonna change everything. We're gonna do all that." So think about that.
So do you think he stands for that?
Who?
Matt Reeves. Do you think he stands for? No. I'm saying, do you think he tolerates that type of shit? Matt Reeves.
No.
Yeah, Matt Reeves. As far as my experience, obviously, do not know Matt Reeves.
No. Tell us about your experiences with Matt Reeves.
Yeah. Do not
on the
know
set
him,
of
obviously.
Black Adam.
But what but seriously, that's what was puzzling to me. Like, when I guess it was a month or two ago when they were like, "Yo, there's 2 different versions they're screening. There's one with the Joker, one without." I was like, well, if that is in fact true, that means he didn't have 100% creative freedom, because one of those versions is what he wanted, and another version would be what somebody told him to do. So that would mean, because no director with their vision in mind, script written, all this production shit ready, writes 2 versions of their script. They don't do that.
It's possible that he might have, or that
But,
the studio could have suggested. Who knows?
But okay, so if he did, then what's the purpose of writing 2 different versions, filming 2 different movies? I want to see how the audience reacts. No. A director is gonna be like, "This is my vision. React to it how you will. I'm not gonna make 2 different movies so that I can test reactions. I'm going to put my product out there and let you react."
Well, they do that for scenes. Like if they're like, "I want this scene to play out this way. I don't know if it'll work." So
I don't see Matt Reeves doing that, man. Not Matt Reeves, dude. Not. You know what I'm saying? Think about that. You know what I'm saying? Think about a director such as Matt Reeves or Chris Nolan or whatever. Like, when they write this movie and they spend 1,000 hours before they even start filming, putting together this movie, doing treatments and all of this shit, they're not sitting there thinking, well, the fans might not like that part. They're gonna be like, I don't give a fuck.
No,
This is the
no.
way I
They
see
don't
this
care
movie.
about the fans. They care about their did this shit work?
Right.
Did it work the way that I had it on paper? And that's the whole point of reshoots.
Reshoots to a certain extent, yes.
Yes.
The reshoots
And additional footage. Additional photography. That's why they have those. Both of those clauses are in there that the actors and the crew and everyone has to sign on.
They have to come back. Yeah, they have
just
to come
in
back
case the shit doesn't make sense in the editing bay. So,
Right. But I mean, but still going back to my point is that imagine Matt Reeves finishing this movie and it's fire, right? Which I think it's going to be fire.
Yeah.
And then he goes into production of part 2. He's filming and almost done with part 2. And that's when they try and derail him and say, "Hey, let's go with a lighter tone. Let's go."
Well,
with,
they did the same thing to Tim Burton. He did his 2 movies, and then
they didn't love it. They didn't like how
jumped
dark
in
it
then,
was.
and he exited the film mid production.
Yeah,
They got Wolfgang Peterson to replace him at first.
They asked
then he
him
left.
before 3 even started. They were like, "Yeah, can you just?"
Well, yeah. When they saw the parents were writing to them about how dark it was, and and all that, and they were like, "Yeah, I don't like the tone shift because 89 is different from 92." And they're like, "Yo, I think you're going darker and weirder, and we don't want that. We want lighter. We want to appeal to
We
children.
want to sell Happy Meals.
We want to sell Happy Meals. Yeah,
I used to have the cups.
Hold on. If you have it readily at hand, just play the breaking news clip.
Oh hell yeah! Here it is.
Yeah. That's not it. That's not
Okay,
it.
that's not
Hold on, I have it here.
Yeah, breaking news. Bruce Wayne's parents got killed in an alley. It is not a light story. He spent his life traumatized by that and decided, let me be a beacon to the city of Gotham, but I'm gonna beat criminals to a pulp every fucking night of the week.
Right.
That is not light. There's nothing light about that. So parents writing them talking about, but he beat that dude up.
Why did the penguin have black blood?
Oh, I know.
Batman
Why did he bite that guy's nose off?
Batman is not a light character by any stretch of the imagination.
I think that was the scene. I think it was him biting off the guy's nose.
That was rough. I remember when I was a kid, I was
yeah.
like, damn, he just bit his nose off. That's
I was
crazy.
like, oh, shit.
Yeah,
That's fine.
yeah.
Is it as dark as the Joker shooting Batman though, or Bruce Wayne rather?
Shooting somebody is a completely different visual than actually
fair.
biting into the skin and ripping it off. So it's
You got me there.
that's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
little bit more jarring than a bullet and maybe some smoke. But yeah, I think that was I think that particular scene.
Glass of water.
Fucker was in his pajamas.
But still, though, I
And
mean,
he was like,
Oh my God!
so let's hope. Okay, let's hope that WB does not change gears on Matt Reeves and lets him do his thing.
there's
fact
always
that-
going to be somebody checking and balancing.
Right, there is,
Always.
but for the most part, let's hope he has as much creative freedom as possible. And the fact that they essentially allowed him to do that is quite. Let's actually take a look at that as our next topic. But real quick, here's some art from Fear Jason, and there it is.
Oh,
It's really nice, actually.
Is that Tom?
that looks like Sam.
That's Sam.
That's Ryan Zeeverfett.
What?
Yes, that is Ryan.
That is dope.
That is really. I mean,
That
well
is
done.
super dope.
Why is his
You're
cast so huge at the bottom right there?
Yeah,
What?
dude's
That's
got a
'cause of-
snake.
My
He's got
fucking
his calf
squats.
on the- Look at the calf right there.
Yo, my nickname is Tripod. What can I say?
What?
Wow,
That's pretty cool,
I
though.
said calf muscles. I didn't say
That's
So
my,
shout outs to Fear
that's
Jason
my,
for
that's
doing
my
this.
construct.
This is my construct.
Axel was trying to get me to pull it up the whole time. I was like, dude, hold
Oh
on,
yeah.
we're in the middle of a
Hey,
conversation.
do you have it? Hey, do you have it? Hey,
Yeah, I was like,
do you have
I had to tell him, I was like, dude, I got it. Don't worry, I got it.
Okay.
But
do you
we're in
have
the middle
it?
of a conversation, so I was like, hey, I don't want to interrupt real quick. What's up, Gavin Cooley?
What up, Gavin? What's good? What's good? What's
Catwoman
good?
play tic-tac-toe and poke someone in the eyes out with her sharp nails.
She
Yes.
did. She did.
And then the
There's
cats
no
were eating
calf.
on her fingers and shit. That was
dude. She electrocuted Max Shrek to the face,
and then it showed his body afterwards. He was like a skeleton. Yeah. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that was fire.
Oh, man. That was rough.
Okay, so going to the article from Esquire, when Matt Reeves talked about the process of taking over the Batman project. So let's go to that real quick and take a look at some of the details of that. So this is from at BatSource, and he kind of broke down the article into little into like the Geekosity style articles, where it's just little statements. So here we go.
Why would you say that name?
Because instead of being a whole article, it's broken into like in the dummy form. So here we go. The script that they sent over, Ben. Here, you know what, Ryan? Why don't you read?
I can do it.
Okay, go ahead, go.
Well,
The script they sent over, Ben Affleck had written for himself to star in, a film he originally intended to direct before deciding to step back. Quote, I read a script that they had that was totally valid take on the movie. It was very action-driven. It was very deeply connected to the DC Extended Universe, with other major characters from other movies and other comics popping up. I just knew that when I read this particular script was not the way that I'd want to do it, Reeves explains. It's understandable. I said, look, maybe I think I'm not the person for this. And I explained to them why I love this character. I told them that they have been so many great movies, and if I were to do this, I'd have to make it personal. So that I understood what I was going to do with it, so that I know where to put the camera, so that I know what to tell the actors, so that I know what the story should be. This take, I told them, pointing to the script, is a totally valid and exciting take. It was almost James Bondian, but it wasn't something that I quite related to. So what I'd love to do, if you're interested, is I'd like to get involved and find a way to take the story and make it a very, very personal and make it very, very personal and get to the place I want him to be, to make it a Batman story and give him the arc and have the story rock him to his core. It wasn't going to be another origin story, not with Ben already in the character, but that's what I would do, Reeves told them. Before they got too excited, he dropped the kicker, intended to scare them away for good. I said, but here's the other thing. This is why I think you're not going to want to meet or direct this movie. I can't tell you what the story is for months because I have to finish the Apes movie. And to my utter shock and surprise, they said, you know what? We really would like you to do this, and we will wait. Huh. He had no idea what was going on, Dylan Clark, Reeves' longtime producing partner, tells us. Ben is a friend of mine, and I love Ben, but I didn't know I can't read because you pulled up.
Sorry.
We had no idea what was going on, Dylan Clark. Ben is a friend of mine, and I love Ben, but I didn't know exactly about those things that were happening in his personal life. We didn't find out until much later. Affleck stepped away entirely, leaving Reeves and Clark with a blank slate. Now, their vision of the Batman could be anything. So, riddle me this, Reeves. What's it going to be? What is the idea that you're holding close to your chest? I had this North Star of a guiding principle. Then the fact that there was this moment of transition out of that came the opportunity to say, okay, what if we didn't do another origin tale? What if instead we went to the imperfect Batman of his early days?
That's it. And then
interesting.
You can find the rest here on this article. But to me, look, I know RJ was talking about how, people were saying that Reeves is a snake, a traitor, whatever.
Yeah.
To me, this fully explains the fact that, hey, look, he had stepped away as a content creator, as an artist. He looked at it and said, hey, look, I understand what he wanted to do, but and this works really good. And this is, I understand all this, but I want to make my own thing. And they were just like, all right, go for it. And here's the thing, for him to say, well, I got to finish the Apes movies first and then come back to this. With everything that was going to happen with the merger, with all these moving parts, it made sense that they were like, all right, go finish your movie and then come back to us. Because at this point, I'm sure Ben was still up in the air.
Thought of at that point in time.
What's that?
The merger wasn't even thought of at that point in time.
Yeah.
When he was making, the merger didn't that shit didn't pop up until the Batman was I think it was post-production.
Yeah, they didn't, that wasn't a factor. They didn't care. And that's why they were like, I don't care. We've already made the decision that we're not going to go with Ben's shit.
Mm-hmm.
So we want something different,
movie.
right? So we will wait as long as it takes. And like you said, the third 8 movie that he made, or I'm sorry, the second 8 movie, which is the third 8 movie in the trilogy that he made, wasn't even released yet. So they didn't, because like in Hollywood, you're only as good as your last movie. And so they were only gauging this off of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I think
it was Fire,
which is great, right? His first 8 movie. And so yeah, I mean, they were just like, yo, I mean, you did a great job with that thing, and you're doing it again, and we've heard good things from that, and so we'd love for you to have a take. So they brought him in. They were like, hey, do you want to direct this? They gave him Ben's script, or screenplay or treatment or whatever it was, and he was like, yo, I don't understand this. This isn't my character. It's like, and I understand that to an extent, to where like you bring in a director and they don't have any passion for it, so it's not as good. It wouldn't turn out good, right? Because their heart's not into it or whatever. And you can see that in the Hobbit trilogy, when they brought Peter Jackson back, his heart wasn't into it. He knew how to make a movie in that world, but he didn't care. I would have loved to have seen Guillermo del Toro's take on that that story, because his heart was into it. Just like, hey, there was something else going on with him. But yeah, I mean, for him to say, hey, he even left. He left the fucking table. Was like, no, and they brought him back, and they were like, yo, do whatever the hell you want. So,
which, despite all their idiocy, despite every horrible decision they've ever made, they stand by their director-driven studio mantra with that, letting him do what he wants, waiting around for him to finish that, and then having him come over and do Batman the way he wanted.
Yeah.
WB being WB at their best.
But you think about his perception, right? From his point of view, they bring him in and say, hey, would you want to do this Batman movie, right? And he's looking at it like, okay, so Ben wrote this to direct and star in it, right? Now I'm taking it over. He's probably not going to be in the damn movie anymore. So at this point, you probably, if you're Matt Reeves, you have to ask yourself, okay, at this point, do I want to take over this project and have it be heavily connected to the DCEU, which maybe he doesn't know a lot. He didn't know a lot about. He didn't know a lot about the lore of all the characters within this universe. So he's like, I would rather just do it based on Batman himself and not have to worry about the expanded universe and what's already been laid, before this movie. I want to be able to take on this character
to try to come in and work connective tissue.
Well, and you saw how
unless you want to.
Unless you want, right? Unless, again, same thing.
You saw the train wreck.
You
saw the train wreck that was Justice League, and he's probably like, "Hey, look, if I'm going to come in here and do this, it's going to be my own take on the character," and that's just how I roll.
And Warner Brothers was like, "Fucking do it! I don't care. Let's get another Batman movie."
At that point, they were already like, "Fuck it, we let Todd Phillips make a Joker movie. Why the fuck not?" Right?
Oh no, they didn't let Todd Phillips make shit. They fucking lost out on that. He took it to fucking New Line, which is their one of their umbrella companies.
It was Braun and WB,
and they lost out on all that fucking money straight up because they were like, "No, we're not making a Joker movie like that. We sell Joker pajamas to kids. We don't do that." So that's why it wasn't a Warner Brothers production. It was New Line Cinema.
But at the end of the day, look, this is a new poster that they released. I think it's a fire poster. I think it looks awesome. I'd love to have that on my backdrop. But
I just saw that thing when he's like,
it's distributed by Warner Brothers Pictures, not New Line.
What's that?
It's distributed by Warner Brothers Pictures, not New Line.
Yeah, of course. Just like Zack Snyder's Justice League is distributed by Warner Brothers. But they handed it over to they worked off of a lower budget, gave him $90 million.
Well, yeah, I mean, once it was greenlit, it was like, okay, well, we're not going to make it. We're going to have our sister company, New Line. They're going to do it, and we're going to distribute it to get.
And the deal that was brokered because Warner Brothers had zero confidence in it was just like, yeah, okay, we'll take this percentage of what it makes.
But here's the thing, you guys. Here's the thing. Here's the thing that Phil's trying to make is that, look, at the end of the day, it still came out. It was still a success. Joaquin Phoenix won an Oscar for that role. And so that's why when it comes to the idea of Matt Reeves, the Batman being its own singular thing, they were like, yeah, you know what? Let's just do that. because at this point, Ben doesn't want to come back to the role. We don't know what we're doing with DCEU. We don't know what we're going with this universe. At least what we do know is that Matt Reeves can come in here and probably give us a pretty fire Batman trilogy, and we can move. At least we would have that in our back pocket. So let's just do that.
Also, what it means going forward is that there's still some fucking dumbasses. They're still fucking stupid. There is a movie that came out last year that we all love.
Oh, Matrix?
No. That gets rave reviews. It's on all of these lists that's like best whatever from 2020.
Wonder Woman 84?
Relax.
What movie is it?
You know what movie I'm talking about. Yet they still will not move forward on that because I don't care about money. They're still dumb. Don't let them. The fact that they gave Matt Reeves the freedom to make this movie make it look like they're still not fucking. They're still stupid. They're still stupid because what I saw earlier. You gonna give them another The Suicide Squad HBO Max show. The movie
Ratcatcher
fucking bombed. Was trash. They're gonna give him another show. That's how stupid they are.
And really, the only people that talk about the Suicide Squad movie is us when we want to make a point. Nobody else is fucking talking about the movie. Like, oh, it's so great.
Yeah, you can talk about the show all you want to. I know a lot of people like it. I am not one of those people. But if you like it, good for you. What I'm saying is the entire point I'm making is that you have a movie that came out that bombed at the box office. Even by pandemic, it bombed. Really, really bombed. Give them a show. Give them another show. Oh, well, you know what? And after that show comes out, give them another fucking show because we're stupid. And we don't realize exactly what the fans are asking for because you have a group of people who actually like the shows, but this is not what the people are literally asking for.
Yeah,
still stupid. So you can look at it as, oh, they gave Matt Reeves creative freedom, and I do agree with you.
And they gave him the second when you're talking about creative freedom.
Yeah, and I do agree with you, Andre. When the second one tries to come out, they're gonna be like, okay, can we just tweak a little bit? And he's gonna be pissed off probably because he's Matt Reeves or whatever. All I'm saying is nothing they've done recently makes them look smart at all. They're still stupid.
They're a spiteful crowd.
Spiteful and stupid.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Well, I mean, look. Look, at the end of the day, they're at least expanding upon characters, which I'm excited about. I want to see more DC characters, get their opportunity. But yes, I mean, look, there was a ton of projects that were.
What you gonna do when the next show that comes out is King Shark?
Oh,
I thought about that.
Yeah, what you gonna do?
It is Stallone. He's like, hey, I'm back.
I don't think it'll be King Shark because I mean you're talking about a ton of CGI that has to be done with him walking around in the suit and all that stuff. But I would think if there's going to be a spin-off show from that movie, to me it's got to be Ratcatcher.
Oh yeah, it's going to be Ratcatcher, and then they're going to go back into another Suicide Squad. I mean, dude, seriously, out of every single DC property, who asked for a Suicide Squad movie? Who asked for a sequel or a reboot or reimagining?
Well, but here's the thing: they offered James Gunn the ability to do whatever movie he wanted. Obviously, they were probably pushing him for Superman, but he said, "You know what? I'll do a Suicide Squad because that's more in his wheelhouse."
Because of Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Right, and so if he was going to do any one of those movies, I'm glad he did Suicide Squad.
I would have wanted him to like I said, jump onto a Green Lantern, core where he can make obscure aliens and do all kinds of crazy shit. That would have been maybe a little bit more interesting versus going back and trying to kill Rick Flag, with CG parts and shit. And all that, and we couldn't because we don't have, even on HBO Max, the first show they fucking started promoting was Green Lantern. Still don't know shit about it. Still haven't heard anything about it. It's stupid now. It's ridiculous now. Mm-hmm. That we still haven't heard anything about that, and it's nobody. There's no director. There's it's not really in production. They cast two people, or they threw their hats and said, hey, they've been cast. Who gives a shit? That would have been for me if it were Gunn and he hey, give him something obscure, give him something different. I know Suicide Squad is pretty obscure itself, But
why
retread the movie that came out, a couple years before and give us another one? Like, I don't know. It makes zero fucking sense to me.
Also, his latest comments about Guardians of the Galaxy 3, he's like, this shit's gonna be mad dark. Like it's gonna be it's gonna be dark and all this. Well,
it's an outer space.
How many dick jokes you gonna put in that? None, because Kevin Feige's like,
he's probably gonna kill Rocket Raccoon.
No.
Oh, don't say that.
He's probably gonna kill Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, he said it's gonna. Last time you see the entire team, that's exactly what I saw earlier. Yeah. So
yeah. Rocket would be the easiest one. Yeah, I mean that'd be the most. Well, I mean,
the characters will still be there. They just won't be a team.
Yeah, that's a good point. Star-Lord might die. I don't know.
He could.
It could be that none of them die. They just aren't a team anymore. That's all he says. You won't see this team. He's not. You won't see one or a couple of these characters. He's saying you won't see this team. So they're not a team anymore. After that, they break up.
One or two might die.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say they don't. I'm not gonna say no one dies, but I'm just saying, hey,
Drax
is
done.
Think.
Drax definitely dying.
I mean, he wants out anyway, so it would make sense.
Anyway. Yeah, he definitely out of there.
Yeah. Him and Anthony got a score to settle.
Huh?
After everything I've seen James Gunn do on both sides, I'm just like, if Marvel Studios is gonna have him come back and do something else, at this point, just have James Gunn come back and do.
That's a good one. That's good.
I think Gunn should come back and maybe make the third Deadpool movie. That's what I would personally like to see him tackle.
That's perfect.
That's where your crude humor goes to.
Exactly. Right.
Yes. That's that. You know what? You feel that was fucking awesome, dude. Like I would literally
good take, Phil. Good take,
Phil.
Good take, Phil. Always has good takes. I'm just saying that's really good, dude. That's damn.
Like I watched Peacemaker this morning, and I'm watching it purely out of due diligence, the fact that it's a DC show, and I want to see where this shit goes. Even though I want to see
where it is. Yeah.
It's not my bag. Like the humor, and especially with this episode, they just
this one in
fucking
particular
hammered it home with this shit, dude.
That's dumb. You're dumb.
Yeah, that's how I felt about the humor in this episode.
And
I was just like, I'm so over this. Or like the long, like, when he's just naming off fucking names at Economos.
I was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
They let those rants go on for a little too long.
Really drinking the Kool-Aid.
And then I'm sitting there watching, and I'm just like, this would work so much better under like a visage of Deadpool.
Droga, chill, Droga. Fucking, where is that? Yo, he'd be good.
Droga's just mad that my idea is better than any of his.
If Marvel announced that James Gunn will be heading Deadpool 3, to me, that's a W. That's like, yeah, that would easily work. And
Gross.
What'd he say?
But it's almost too easy, so it's probably never going to happen.
Yeah.
But speaking of Peacemaker, now not everyone here is a huge fan of the show.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of the show. I like the show. I think it's funny. And I'm I guess I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. Yeah. I'm not the only one because Peacemaker is the most streamed show in the world over The Witcher and the Book of Boba Fett. I mean, this has become a very popular show, according to.
Wow.
I'm not surprised considering. Look, there's okay. As far as Peacemaker goes,
I'm sorry, but after the last Mandalorian episode, I mean, that show is getting the most downloads. I'm sure.
No, I would say these are three particular shows. Like there's
he got me.
You like how they didn't mention Euphoria? Because Euphoria totally has higher numbers than Peacemaker does.
Yes,
it's almost like they're doing it within a certain genre.
They only mention fandom movies, right? Or fandom shows right here. Peacemaker, The Witcher, and Book of Boba Fett. Like those are. But if you're talking about the audience, you're right.
They're like, oh yeah, let's put The Witcher in there. Fucking Henry Cavill's in that.
Fuck him. It's Lamar Morrison's in Book of Boba Fett. He shouldn't have switched sides.
He should have switched sides.
Also, what is this on Sci-Fi Wire? Of course, because also there's another show that I watch, Ozark. Ozark gets some high fucking streaming numbers too, and that shit just came out with their season 4 on Friday.
A very short article.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like the Peacemaker's doing really good numbers. Is there any
That's it.
Data from
Okay, that's it.
Parrot Analytics.
Thank you for reading the article.
So Parrot Analytics revealed that the HBO Max series was the top digital original TV series in the world. Okay, so now okay, when it says the top digital original TV series, does that mean that it's within a category of original series, not
Yes.
just like a show?
Also,
in general?
HBO Max isn't worldwide, so
It isn't.
no.
In the world, it says.
As we saw from Keelar's long fucking thing of tweets.
Dude, he has these long-winded
Christmas
tweets,
list
man.
on Twitter?
Yeah.
We're gonna go
I can't read all that
worldwide.
shit.
What's funny is he makes it to where you can't comment on them unless
Oh,
you're
No,
yeah,
of course not.
Yeah, because he knows. He knows.
He knows. Everyone be like, "I released a Snyder Cut." Ah!
Also, the picture he put up with DC content, there was Harry Potter on there. Everybody was like, "Yo, what?" He
Yeah,
put,
exactly. He
That was
knows
later.
that if everyone would unload on him so
he
hard
put
that
Black
Hey,
Adam
th-
on there, and that's also
he
a
did.
good line.
this would be his reaction
about
if
DC,
he allowed
but it's still
everyone to
DC.
respond. This would be his reaction.
What in the hell was that all about?
Because everyone would just go crazy on the guy, man. I'm telling you.
What are you talking about, RJ? Is it you talking about Peacemaker? I this is what we call him a trash. You talking about Peacemaker?
I would assume so. Look, I don't personally. I don't have a problem with Peacemaker at all. I actually like the show.
Like I said, man, if you like it, that's good.
Yeah.
for you,
I mean,
man.
yeah.
I'm never gonna
if you
tell
like
what
it, I
to
mean,
like.
that's your standards. You know.
Yeah, that's what I'm never gonna tell you what to
I
like.
like all Ryan's backhanded comments.
What? Oh, you said that's your standard, Dan.
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to a character like Peacemaker, for me, and I'm sure probably for a lot of other people on the panel too, like, you know, he's probably not a character that any of us are overtly familiar with. So
No,
the only
yeah.
familiarity that we are being presented with, and the only ones that I would say that all of us have seen thus far, is in the form of John Cena's Peacemaker. Now, when it comes to a character like Vigilante per se, like, you know, I made no bones about it. I like the original character created from Marv Wolfman and George Perez.
Yeah,
And,
the lawyer.
you know, there are just some creative differences with this portrayal by Freddie Stroma, whom, you know, no discredit to the actor. I think he's doing exactly what's asked of him to the best of his abilities. But for me, like, it's the whole goof ass bus boy that I'm just like, that ain't it. That's just not Adrian Chase to me, you know? But I'm glad that people are seeing this character and be like, oh, hey, shit, he's funny. He's like a Deadpool. Like that. Cool. That's the shit I strive to hear. When people ask me, oh, what do you think about it? I'm like, yeah, you know, it is what it is. But I kind of see why Chris Conrad was like, this might not be up my alley, and why they brought in Freddie Stroma.
Well, and look, I mean, obviously, this is his take on the character. I mean, it's a character that's not as well known to the general audience, so you can kind of
You can take liberties.
Do whatever the shit you want,
now
and not
we-
have little
now
to
we
no
see.
repercussion.
Now
there we
we
go.
see.
Yeah,
No.
all because I like Peacemaker.
Look
okay?
at this guy. He's just drinking the. It doesn't matter what flavor it is, Andre. Yeah. Oh, there he goes.
Get that clout money, Andre.
Yeah, that's what I'm totally getting it too.
It's like, and by the
Coming
way,
in.
this episode has been brought to you by Walter Hamada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
And
Walter.
the
I'm gonna
Warner
love the
Brothers
Flash.
Oh my god, you guys are fucking assholes.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Nice, very nice, very nice. Okay.
He's in your living room.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
in my
wow.
house right now.
really?
Yeah, after
Yeah,
this, we're gonna go
is,
make out.
This is Hamada visiting Andre.
No, you gotta tickle their balls a little bit.
Okay, so then there was this too. This is the article that came out about new Discovery CEO David Zaslav sets priorities for Warner Media merger with plans to marshal streaming power, preserve legacy business, and shake up the culture. Unfortunately, I can't get into this article because it makes you subscribe, so that's about as far as we're going to get. But look,
Stepped
There
out
are
of
a lot
the
of
because
people-
he's like, I'm sorry, DC who?
Toby, who?
I don't have
what?
any. I don't
Andre's
currently
being
have any
paid
ideas,
sex.
but
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
Sex in the City and Superman and even that Batman, they're really go-getters, and we're gonna do our best. See you later.
Right. Now,
He doesn't fucking know shit.
You think that, like, I mean, look, there are a lot of people out there who are saying that, oh, when when the merger comes, all will be saved, right? We don't fucking know that. We have no fucking clue what he is planning to do when he takes over. I mean, like, we would hope that he'd be like, hey, as soon as I take over, fire, get Zach in here, let's go. That would be awesome.
No one's ever really gone.
That's poor timing. So, but still, like, a lot of us would say yes, that would be awesome. I'd love to see him come in here, fire, the three-headed monster, get rid of this guy, get rid of that guy, bring in Zack Snyder.
He's like, I'm gonna drain the swamp.
Right, but the thing is that in all likelihood, I don't think that's really gonna happen. I think that people are hanging on to or using that bit of hope as a way of profiting off of it, which I think is very slimy and very low.
Over time,
disingenuous. Thank you.
People will lose their jobs.
Oh yeah.
And
RJ still talking about Guardians of the Galaxy? Come on, RJ.
Yeah.
Toby Emmerich is practically on his way out. That much is abundantly clear.
So it just right. And I think Emmerich, sees that there is writing on the wall, but I don't think he's going to get let go. They're not going to pull a Kathleen Kennedy and fire him in 2021 like they did. But the thing is I don't think that they're going to, it's going with every merger. There's always people losing their positions because you're bringing one company over, replacing people with the people that and the people that you have. And I think that there's going to be sort of a transitional period. And unfortunately, none of these actors and actresses are going to get any younger rather. And I think that it's going to take time for them to shift. And I don't think there's not going to be some like light switch night and day, where they're going to say
people are looking at this and they're expecting it to be like the ending of The Secret of My Success. No, that shit is not happening. Michael J. Fox is not about to walk in the boardroom and be like, well, guess what we just did? We bought 90% of your stock. Get the fuck out of here.
They've been lied to by Christopher Nolan. When Morgan Freeman was like, didn't you get the memo? That's not going to happen here. Toby's not going to walk in the office and Morgan's there. It's just not going to happen.
It's going to take a minute, but I think eventually he'll be out of it.
I just don't think that it's one thing for Toby Emmerich to leave, but I just don't see him coming in there and completely cleaning house of all these executives who have projects that they're attached to, and then basically doing
anyway. But
basically doing everything that we hoped that he would do.
You announced this. How far have y'all gotten? Just the announcement? Get the fuck out of here! Like,
well, my point. Here's my other thing too: is that if Zaslav comes into power, right, and immediately he doesn't do shit and things aren't happening, do you think that a group of fans are going to turn on him,
like
and make him the enemy?
Like they
exactly.
Yeah, Keelar
Pie.
Whatever. Yeah, like they did. I'm sorry.
He was. Yeah, the reason they turned on him is because he just went as soon as. When Zack Snyder's Justice League released on HBO Max, it became very apparent that he only greenlit that shit to boost HBO Max. It didn't have anything to do with it. You could have those thoughts beforehand, but once it came out and he did nothing after that, you're like, you motherfucker. You just wanted that shit so your opening weekend numbers were fire.
Well, that's the whole thing. Yeah, no, I mean, they're all about like what makes me look good.
Yeah,
and that made him look good. That
definitely not what makes me money. Because if they were worried about what makes me money,
there you go.
They'd be like,
it's because they all want job security, right? Nobody wants to get kicked out of their position or whatever, So, and I'm not saying that they're doing the best job that they can to maintain that, but they're going to cut corners. They're going to do anything that they can to stay afloat.
Okay, RJ, we got you. We got it, man. Just relax.
Oh, here we are. A difference of language.
Euphoria is the more universal television or show. Peacemaker is built for this audience. Euphoria is more universal.
Well, he's saying it's also on a regular channel.
I got what he's saying.
Right. And also he's saying tomato.
Yeah. I got what I understand what he's saying, but I'm saying the only reason he brought that up was because Peacemaker fan, and we're not hating on the show. We're just saying like the Euphoria's numbers are high. They just are.
Yeah. Well, and guys, I know some of you guys were hitting me up because you guys can't see certain certain comments. We're broadcasting on 2 channels. We're on the 4Nerds channel and on the 4Nerds Network channel. That was my mistake. Next week we won't do that.
Yeah, I know.
So that's why you can't see some of the comments because we're actually on 2 channels right now. So sorry about that confusion.
You can,
But yeah, always excuses when it comes to the Suicide Squad. Look, I mean, the problem with this is the problem with the Suicide Squad. Looking back on it, for me at least, is that it came out at probably the worst time you could ever put that out. To me, that should have came out after The Flash, probably even after Aquaman. Then you have the Suicide Squad, because that was the first big DC movie that followed up right after Zack Snyder's Justice League. And to me, that was the worst place you could have put that, because it didn't go with Zack's movie. It didn't go with anything that we just saw. It seemed like it left more questions than answers. And I think that if that would have came out after some of these other movies, it wouldn't have seemed so out of place.
They were hoping that the tone shift would speak for itself, and people were like, "Oh, of course."
Anthony, do you remember when we sat on that movie for a week?
Yeah,
before everyone.
It was rough,
and it was just like.
What they thought it would do was basically it would make you forget how good Zack Snyder's Justice League was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's shift it back to this goofy shit and let's make you forget.
Right.
And then that way, because
Oh, and we're also gonna kill Rick Flag and Captain Boomerang.
Yeah. 2 of the most
in the most moronic fucking ways, both of them could have died.
Yeah. Also, besides Harley Quinn and probably Will Smith's Deadshot, I think as far as look. Like I said, a lot of these characters I never read in the books. But as far as what I have read, the most accurate motherfuckers to the comic book characters, Captain Boomerang, fucking, Deadshot wasn't in the movie. Obviously, Rick Flag was pretty awkward from what I've read. And besides Harley Quinn, which they're not going to kill her because guess what? You talk about kill her. Suicide. Yeah. You talk about that's studio suicide right there. You go have
Harley Quinn's the reason the Suicide Squad even had a box office to begin with.
It's the same reason why Birds of Prey made any fucking money at all.
Yeah, they love that. Yeah, they do love her. So if they would have decided, let's fucking let's do it.
Oh, geez.
No, that's never gonna fucking happen. But Gunn hates Australians. Damn, homie.
I mean, we don't know. The word is out, but we're not sure. We cannot confirm nor deny the claim, but it could be true.
Yeah, I was kind of sad when Polka Dot Man died.
He was the most interesting of the whole bunch.
Yeah, he was.
I didn't like the mom, but
the mom joke I laughed at.
I understood.
Yeah, the mom joke didn't bother me.
I didn't care.
Yeah, no, but his character, he was one of the only ones. Even though Ratcatcher had like a fire backstory or whatever, like with the his was and also
by the time she saw Ratatouille with Taika Waititi on the top of the fucking building, I was like, no,
that was the worst part. I was like,
that was weird. I was just like,
honestly, did this shifted to a Disney movie?
I was happy in that he didn't voice either King Shark or Starro, so I was content with the role that he was given because he was in it. And he was in and out for like
Starro, right?
Yeah,
like a lot of people thought he was going to be Starro. Yeah,
yeah.
Or even King Shark, which I was kind of like, oh please no,
King Shark,
because it would just been Korg. It would have been Korg the entire time.
Yeah, because god, that character does get annoying.
Joey, relax.
Hey, we're playing a bit of
Joey. I feel like he does this more in the chat than he does in when he's actually on the streams.
Yeah, well, when he's on the streams, he can't do 2 things at once.
He does it on the streams.
He does it.
Yeah.
Like Joey is a shark.
Who stole the shrimp off the? Jesus Christ. Korg
is great.
Oh no, Korg is not great. RJ, so agree to disagree.
Annoying.
Korg can relax. Yeah.
I mean, okay, Groot is less annoying than Korg.
I fucking love Groot.
Yeah.
Groot's great.
There you go. My case in point.
Yeah.
I am Groot.
Korg is no. Korg
well, I thought it was kind of weird that like in what was it in Endgame or what is it like you thought they all died and I guess a portion of the people that were on that ship
25% of all
got away. And it's like
yeah.
And they didn't even talk about that in Infinity War. And you find out in Endgame that someone got away. You're like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. Well, yeah, he didn't ruin Thor. Okay. I don't think he ruined
No,
Thor.
you're right.
I don't
Taika
think he
Waititi
ruined
ruined
Thor.
Thor.
I think
Yeah.
Thor was shit from the beginning.
Oh wait,
beginning
they're
to
the
end.
same person, so I guess maybe they did.
Yeah.
I mean, look, everyone has their opinion on Thor Ragnarok. I mean, look, personally, I didn't hate it. I thought it was all right, but I know Ryan
Yeah,
didn't
but
like
you also
it.
like the Peacemaker, so it's like okay.
Yeah, I also like
Hey,
Peacemaker.
just because he likes
So now
sports
we
does not
see.
I do.
make
Now
him
we
bad.
see.
I like Peacemaker.
Disney shill. Disney shill.
Well, you know what? If you saw my live streams of Disneyland, I was fucking all chilled out. I was
Yeah,
like,
he's
Yeah,
got
yeah.
fucking. He's wearing Mickey Mouse slippers right now.
yeah, and underwear as well. And speaking of which,
it's goofy.
now we also know too. We also know that James Gunn is going to get a second Suicide Squad
There you have
spin-off
it.
in development.
So
Now,
which character
look,
is it?
We don't know. We got you, Andre. Crypto Sports like Endgame's garbage. So another character is going to get a spinoff. I feel very positive that's going to be Ratcatcher because they
If
gave
there's-
her more screen time than a lot of the other characters, and I don't think Idris Elba's going to come back to do an HBO Max show. And that's just my
I don't
opinion.
think Stallone is going to come back
Oh.
and do an HBO Max show. I mean, what the fuck is he going to do for a whole 2 hours?
I have
That's-
two thoughts. It's either got to come. It's got to come down to two characters because it's probably not going to be Margot Robbie. She's
No.
too busy.
No.
So for me personally, I think it's going to come down to either Ratcatcher or Bloodsport. It's got to be one of those two.
It's one of those
I
two.
don't think he would do it. I think it would have to be her. I think they'll highlight her. He's got other projects I'm sure he's working on.
We don't know.
No,
but
no,
I mean,
go to IMDb. Check it out.
And I think honestly, same thing. I think Ratcatcher, but her character, what's he gonna do if it is her? You can't have dick jokes and titty jokes and cum jokes and Ratcatcher because she wasn't even about all
well,
that in the movie.
Yeah.
Her attitude was
no.
nowhere near
Will be-
Peacemakers with the joke. So would it be like a more serious tone show, or is he gonna
Well,
inject the same,
I don't know.
ridiculous humor like in the things? 8 episodes of each
She'll
children.
meet
Reese.
a character that's ridiculous, and then she'll have
Yes.
to pair up with that ridiculous character. Kind of like just pretending he was making a Gamora TV show. He would have to pair up Gamora with some moron, right?
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
she's the straight man, and then you got the moron alien or whatever, and then there's your comedy gold right there. RJ would love that. He'd be like, oh my
You
god,
please.
what the fuck? Feige, I have an idea.
Reese, relax. What is he? 8 episodes of Eating Children. Damn, homie, that's hardcore.
What did he say?
I'd watch
He said
Bloodsport.
eight episodes of Eating Children.
Oh
Wow.
gun.
What?
Yeah,
What?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a
Yeah. Just give me Bloodsport. I mean, Bloodsport would be a nice
Bloodsport,
show. I think.
yeah.
Honestly, I was surprised when I saw the Suicide Squad and the stuff that they actually got him to say on camera. I was like, oh, maybe they tricked him and he signed on. And then they were like, yo, you're gonna be saying shit like this. He felt like, fuck.
Fuck you.
Rogers.
Yeah.
I know that
musical.
was so stupid.
Yeah, it's
God,
just
that interaction. I was just like, really?
But that would,
Goodness.
but I think Ratcatcher. But I also think, and even though like Andre was saying that it'd be a lot of special effects costs, I could just see it, dude. I could just see it being King Shark, bro, and it just being fucking stupid.
Or could it be Ratcatcher and King Shark is the mumbling
No.
idiot who's with
Oh
her?
man. Oh, I don't know.
Could be.
could be.
Well,
Could be,
look,
man.
if they do King Shark, then obviously Steve Agee. I don't know how to pronounce
Aggie?
his last name.
Yeah,
Steve
yeah,
The
yeah.
Agee.
guy from Peacemaker.
yes,
He'd more. I would probably
Big
wait.
boy.
He'd probably be game to get back into the CGI gear. For
Yes.
Or
And-
anything
and
for more money, I'm sure.
I would think that he'd be game to be back in that suit, and he would also probably be in the show as well
okay.
in some capacity.
Shoot me in the face.
No Weasel series.
Shoot. That's his brother, right?
But
That's
I
his
think,
brother,
that's
right?
his brother. That's his brother.
And he
Shoot
lived.
me in the
He lived
fucking
at the end of
face.
the movie.
I,
He
I,
lived.
Let me-
I think
let me
you
pitch the
will
series to
see
y'all right
him
now.
Sort of.
Bloodsport and Weasel.
Dude.
Or is it Ratcatcher and Weasel? Or is it Ratcatcher and what's his name? Nathan Fillion's character.
Oh,
He
TDK.
died.
He didn't
Detachable
die at
Kid?
the end. Did he die at the end?
Yes.
Critical
I
condition.
He died.
I thought there's something about him living. I don't know. Maybe not.
No.
They would definitely do a Weasel series. No, I don't.
Bruh, it's his brother.
It's his brother.
Brother, yeah.
It's his
And he, I
brother.
mean, look, here's the thing. He lived for a reason. I don't think he just made him live just to live. Like, oh, isn't that funny? I think he made him live because he's like, I'm gonna.
Well,
write
He's,
that
he's,
back.
he's going to leave it open for his brother to make some more money.
Imagine trying to market a Weasel series. Imagine that. Peacemaker's one thing. You got John Cena, very popular wrestler, very popular actor in general. You can market that. Imagine trying
You
to
have
market.
to have right, like you said. Cena is the draw. You've got to have somebody like I could understand Ratcatcher with Stallone.
Why'd you?
Stallone would be the reason why people.
Who said that first? Who said that first? You just fucked up. Dark Star, chill, bruh. You just fucked up my head for the rest of the night with that damn Imagine the Weasel series.
Yeah. Anthony's gonna wake up with cold sweats.
Yeah, that's Joey. Hey, there it is. That's what's gonna be.
There it is. That's the next series.
He's gonna have on a blue ball cap to the back or whatever, however he wears it. Damn, dude, that's fucked up.
I mean, that's the thing though, is that we might be getting that series, and then, but it wouldn't surprise me if you got a Ratcatcher series with Weasel being like one of the characters that's there, because she talks to rats, he's a weasel. Why not? I mean, it'd be a funny little pairing. Watching him interact with rats. Anyway, I'm just saying I could see them going that route. The fact that they kept that character alive, but I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. I don't know. There was another thing. Okay, so the next topic that we're going to talk about is one that we've all been a fan of, but we've all had our disagreements about, and that is the book of Boba Fett. Hey! Hey! The book of Boba Fett. Okay, so in this recent episode of the book of Boba Fett, we got to see essentially The Mandalorian season 3, episode 1,
pretty much.
which I absolutely loved this episode. I and to me, I mean, I don't know, like I kind of felt like Mando is a more interesting character. Even though I'm such a bigger fan of Boba Fett, I felt like they didn't enrich his character enough. Phil left already. He's like,
"Oh, screw that!"
No, Phil's he's a big Book favorite. But go ahead, Carl.
I'm still here. I can hear you.
I know. I was just laughing. No, and so this episode was really cool. I loved how his character took center stage because it just shows you how big of a fan, at least I am, of this character, and I think of a lot of people who are watching the show. And I liked how he went to he went to Elysium or whatever that place was. That place was a huge ring.
The huge ring. That was that was pretty neat. The city. I was like, that's different. That's new.
That was dope. That was tight.
That was dope. That was like Elysium.
Other places than Tatooine.
And so, and he finds the last two of the Mandalorians from that gathering where there was like a shit ton of them. They all died.
This is the way.
And so they're like, yeah, amigo, this is the way. And so
this is the way.
And so they're gonna rebuild their guild right there on Elysium or whatever it was called. And then I thought it was cool that the very first scene in this episode was him collecting that bounty, and he busts out the Darksaber. I was like, dude, I'm
glad he brought him in cold.
Yes,
but the funny thing was that like he was using the Darksaber like a boss, but it didn't get heavy on him.
Well, kind of did. He cut himself. He's like, ah.
Well, because he's not a trained professional. That's why she was training him. But he was like, with every swipe, it just gets heavier and heavier. And I'm like, okay.
That's what she said.
This is the way.
This is the way. I say.
Oh shit! Nah, but
this is the huevos. The show is what is it?
Bussin', man. It's Bo Bussin'.
Bo bussin' these nuts.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Oh god.
I got it.
Don't be a nutsack on the internet.
Yeah.
PSA for today.
Yeah. I thought it was great. I thought the way it started off, like Andre was saying, was fire. What he was coming in to do, I do like. He pulled it out, and I was just like, "Yo, he's about to murk." And I did like at first, I was like, "Did he hit himself in the leg with the fucking Darksaber?" And then I was like, afterwards, I appreciated it just because of his inexperience with the weapon or whatever. The music's fire. Also, real quick shout out to Bryce Dallas Howard. She directed this episode. Mm-hmm. Every episode she's directed, she directed.
I think we can also agree that she might direct A Mandalorian season 3 episode. I don't
she
know.
will. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
No, there was a fucking scooper. There was a scooper out there that was like, just in, she's gonna direct a couple.
Oh, was it the same one that said Charlie Cox is going to return as Daredevil for multiple projects?
I honestly don't pay attention.
It's so
to these
obvious at this point.
It is.
Like,
it's obvious. And she does a good job. I mean, if she has any questions, she just has to ask her daddy.
But
Yeah,
say,
the fire director,
to make the statement saying that, hey, she's gotten better with everything she does. I think she's going to come back and do more Mandalorian. Yeah, so is Rick Famuyiwa. So is Robert Rodriguez. So is the same group that was there last time, because that's the core.
So is Deborah Cho. She'll be there.
That's their core director team.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's their team that they have to put these episodes together, and that's why it's so fire. It's because they have a good core of directors.
But I'm saying, especially just for this one, which all of the ones she's directed for me, like this, they've all been great. I mean, we've all watched the seasons of the other seasons of Mandalorian. Like on these certain episodes seem kind of filler or whatever, but she was given the job. They were like, "Yo, we know what our cash cow is, right? We've got this show, the Book of Boba Fett, but we're going to have one in particular episode that's going to just focus all on the Mandalorian. Except for at the end, you're going to see what's her name coming there.
Which is
both
dope, but also kind of sad.
Yeah. At
the same time.
I kind of understood why they went that direction, but for them to give her that responsibility to direct this particular episode, just because we know what's going to happen. They're teaming up for the rest of the season. It's just team up shit for the rest of the season, and they're going to do whatever, try to clap on some people. No, but I thought it was great. I thought, when he had to fight old dude for the thing, dude was like, "No, it's going back to my family, homie," and he's just like, "No."
Yeah, and he was bigger too. Bigger.
Well, it's
Mandalorian.
We've seen him before. Yeah, I mean, he's. I definitely like that character, and I liked that fight. And that was the best choreography I think we've seen the whole fucking season.
Yes, it was, and also I knew I figured he wasn't gonna kill him, because I was like,
well, if he killed Mando, then
there's only a few of them left.
There's only a few of them left. Like, hey, you fucking stabbed him 3 times. Like, hey, don't kill the guy.
No, the way he was
you and the girl,
he was hitting those
This is the way.
arteries too. He was hitting those.
This is the way.
Yeah, he was hitting those arteries too. He was hitting like on the side.
They're gonna do that. They're gonna make fun of it. It's like, hey, is it over there? You're like, no, this is the way. They're gonna do that.
But that whole scene where he was with them and he was kind of helping them set things up there, even though there's only 3 of them there.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool to see that and to kind of see how they're rebuilding. I was like, yeah, that's awesome. I like that. Phil, let me ask you, what did you think of the newest episode of the Book of Boba Fett?
Chef kiss, man.
Oh, I thought he just ate something.
I mean,
num.
Look, I messaged Andre immediately after finishing that episode, and I was like, dude, that Starfighter is fucking badass.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought that was such a cool callback to episode 1, which we don't get enough callbacks to the prequel trilogy.
They don't get enough respect.
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't.
The sequel trilogy, I'm sorry, it might as well have acted as if that didn't even exist. Because you got no callbacks to the prequel trilogy.
Very few at all. But mostly, it was a really lovely season 3 opener to Mando, obviously. But I mean, I like that this really does kind of answer a lot of questions that you don't necessarily have to jump into Mandalorian season 3 out the gate from, because obviously where season 2 leaves off, it literally leaves off and then leads into the Book of Boba Fett, right? Like, so it almost feels like
this got me hyped for the Mandalorian season 3 as well. I was like, dude,
I know, but next week is another Book of Boba Fett show. So
well, no, I want to see how the show ends.
Here's the thing, though. Next week's episode is written by Dave Filoni.
Yeah, this is gonna be.
So it's gonna be heavy hitter.
And
it's gonna have
there's only 2 episodes left too. So these next 2 are about to
Ahsoka coming in that episode.
Maybe.
Yeah, she's gonna make a cameo.
That'd be
Or someone else from.
Go ahead.
Clone Wars days.
Yeah.
I just really enjoyed it. I can understand the sentiment that, really what really bummed me out was the fact that Boba wasn't the one to be like, hey, I need your help. It was Fennec Shand.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's like,
hey,
it was still kind of worth it to watch.
Well,
Mando.
Her entrance was kind of weak though. She like jumped down a couple boxes.
But what was also fire to me was she tossed him that sack of fucking credits and shit.
Oh
and he was like,
and he's like, this one's on the house.
That was a good exchange.
I was like, let's go, dude. Like,
oh, okay. So you just made me think. Since in the beginning of the episode, after he collects the bounty or whatever and sees the armorer and Vizsla and learns some of the history behind the Darksaber, and then like they fight and duel, and then the armorer is like, so have either of you removed your helmets? And Vizsla's like, I have not. And Mando just does the meme, the fucking
I was like, damn it.
Yeah.
And then just lie and say no.
I mean,
and then
she shouldn't have waited for him to acknowledge.
Like,
she should have said, okay, so you have done it. Like if you don't answer right away, obviously you've done it.
Right.
So she should have called his ass out and said, hey, yo.
So now that he's effectively like excommunicated from
pretty much
the Mandalorians,
until he goes and does something,
is he gonna go and be with Boba and be like part of the Fett clan?
No, I think he's gonna redeem himself.
Yes, he has to.
I think he's gonna go do the journey or whatever that is.
To Mandalore.
Yeah,
because she said,
because he said
redeem
you
yourself,
can't get
you
there
have
or
to
something.
go.
So it's like blocked or something like that, and she's like,
it's not
that's
there anymore.
the only way you can do it, bitch. And he's like, okay, well, fuck, I gotta do it.
Yeah, I think he'll try to find a way.
But what I like too is that they also talked about Bo-Katan, about how she had the Darksaber, but she failed.
Yeah.
Well, also that she didn't earn it. She
didn't earn
presented
it.
to her,
and that's something that everyone brought up too back then, was that she didn't earn that. You know what I mean? So, so that was really, really cool. Now, we got to see a new starship. It's a how do you say it, Nubian or from Naboo?
Yeah, it's an N1 starfighter from Naboo, and they tricked it out.
We have a updated version.
We have an updated version of
courtesy of Ryan Zeeverfett. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. And there it is. And what do we have right behind him, Ryan?
Instead, but they took out the little section where a droid would go, put a bubble there. I'm thinking Grogu's little seat's going to be right there for season 3.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It makes him an easy target, though. I mean, you know where to shoot.
It makes him an easy target.
Hey, man,
you're gonna see him do the R2.
Wow!
So did you guys see where he was test flying that?
Yes,
he
did it. He
test flew it on the pod race track from episode 1.
Yes,
and you can even see on the track that bridge that Anakin, or not bridge, I'm sorry, the barrier that Anakin broke.
Yeah,
the pieces are still there.
Yeah.
So
all these years later, they're still laying there.
They're still laying. No, nobody's picked it up. It's a desert. Nobody cares.
Yeah, it's fire. That was fire.
But the only thing I didn't like about this episode here was the lady with no eyebrows. I just
don't like her.
They try to make her too cute, and like,
I
dated
fine.
a Jawa and all this other bullshit. I'm just like, I'm just like tired
of
the
mechanic.
Mechanic. Yeah.
So if you were in the Little Rascals, you'd be part of the He-Man Woman Haters Club, right?
No, I have no hate because I love Fennec. I don't see. That's the whole thing. Is that you can label people, because I mean that makes it easy to classify. But this lady's just fucking annoying. I'm sorry. Even if it was a dude, even if it was a guy, and they were like, "This is the way we need you to act. This is the character." I just don't like the character.
She didn't bother me that much.
And so, I mean, I thought that, she's such, I don't know, man. I don't like the interaction. I don't like the dialogue.
Right. Because Mando is the straight man. He's the straight guy. You got to have somebody to kind of offset him. So that's why they have her in the episode.
Somewhere else. Do something else.
You need someone very animated.
Yeah,
otherwise I would have preferred to see fucking Watto, versus this,
right.
The only thing that really bothered me about her was that if Mando wouldn't have showed up, she'd have got dragged off by like a 2-foot whatever that was. I was like, what is it? Dragging her off? It's like
it's just they try to. She's kind of like the Yoda of the series before, like when you find out before you find out he's a Jedi Master.
This way.
Go ahead.
If you're not a fan of the character, right? But
not a fan.
Do this way. It says a lot about the character if she kept having to remind everybody that she dated a Jawa.
I don't know why that was even really.
They're really hairy.
Oh God, yeah. I was like,
damn, Jawa's clapping your cheeks now. What's
It's
going
like
on?
that's cool.
Gross.
You do you, but like,
Yeah, you do you.
huh?
But I mean,
I
look,
don't know. They try to
you
make it
could-
funny, and it's not.
well, you could argue that in the book of Boba Fett, one of the major issues that they've had is that everyone is a straight man. Everyone is kind of emotionless. Everyone is very serious.
That's the fault of the directors. For
But
not,
what I'm saying is that you
interjecting
don't
a little
have
bit
that
of
like in The Witcher. You have what's his name? I forgot the guy's name. The guy who sings.
Oh, the sings the stories. Yeah.
and he gets
Yeah.
on my fucking nerves too.
Well, there you go. That's the whole point. Is that he's supposed to offset so that it's not just a bland, dry show.
And I wouldn't, but he needs to dial it back a little bit.
Oh, he
You know,
dialed
like,
it back in season 2.
But the first season and even the second season a little bit, man. I mean,
No,
he wasn't as
no,
annoying in the
no.
second season, but he was still annoying for me.
I thought he was annoying in season 1.
And
Season
he's
2,
a
I thought he
fucking
was
dude.
fine.
For all that don't know, yeah, no, I'm not
Mando's
just don't
still
just go
smashed. What you
after
talking
ladies that are
What do you
fucking
mean?
annoying.
He's still smashed. What are you talking about?
Mando's still smashed.
Mando's still smashed.
Mando smash.
But
That shit was dope.
I mean, going back to the episode, I loved the beginning. I loved how he's still doing bounties. You know, and then I did think that this scene in which he got this this new ship
Nubian.
It kind of went on for a long time, and I was like, okay, like, are we gonna move on? And of course, he runs into the X-wing, which at this point are like what 60 years old.
they're old, but yeah, it's still useful.
Yeah.
Until they get a repaint job and another fuselage for
that didn't
the
bother me
sequel trilogy.
either. That didn't bother. That was
But one thing that has bothered me about the sequel trilogy in particular, and this is slightly off topic, but I'm gonna bring it up anyway. And Brian and I had talked about this, was the fact that when you watch the prequel trilogy, you saw starfighters, you see
this ship here. It's completely fucking starkly different in design than your X-wings, Y-wings, B-wings, all that,
then you
right?
saw
And
ships
so you
that
know
would
what
later
era
become.
you're looking at.
Yes, you saw ships that would later become the X-wing, that would
And
later
so,
become,
for the
so it's like you
sequels,
see the progressions.
All they did was change a couple little things about it, but kept the overall shapes intact.
They made bigger Star Destroyers.
And
They did make bigger Star Destroyers.
They're still triangles, you know.
Yeah, they were more like giant floating pyramids. The dreadnoughts.
Sure, but they're all basically
right.
Like if you looked at the trade.
Do you have your
Federation
pictures,
ships.
Ryan? Do you have your pictures? Remember, you went from this
they're
to
on my.
oh, okay.
So, yeah, go check out my channel if you guys are interested in that conversation.
like the TIE Fighter, it's the
I have a
same
lot of
thing.
visuals there.
They just changed the TIE Fighter a little bit, right?
All they did was they took it from 4 inches to 2, and then it was as far as like the cylinders, and then they shortened the nose a little bit, and they changed the they just gave what's his face, they gave him a black and orange one. I don't know, it just wasn't
but this
really
was cool,
it wasn't really different. Yeah, I mean, I think
dope.
they should have gone completely different for the for that era, so that you'd be like, oh hey, that's I recognize it within a couple seconds.
Right. But the fact that we got a callback to episode 1, I thought was really, really cool. So he got his ship. I
did think when she first walked over to it before she pulled it, I was like, is that a pod racer? That's what I thought, just because I thought it was a turbine.
That's what I thought. No, I agree. That's what I thought too. I was like, wait a minute.
That's a good trick.
What the fuck?
It's Burton's Batmobile.
I thought, but I was kind of hoping that it was going to be something new that we haven't seen before. But then again, I'm sort of ambiguous about that. I do like that they made a callback to the prequels because it's important, because they always shun it. And then I thought that I was like, well, damn, you're not really giving us something different. You're tricking out one of the older ones, which is cool, but
because they normally the only callbacks they ever go to is fucking the original trilogy.
Because that's where they lean heavily on.
Yeah,
because they know that's what makes money.
Yeah, it was nice to see that though. It was cool. I like seeing a little when he got in it and took it for a test spin or whatever. This was fire.
They did. I mean, the prop department did a fantastic job of sort of reminding you of Anakin in there flipping switches and stuff. It's like, oh yeah, I remember that switch was there. And,
I like he was pushing the button to start it. It had to push to start, and I was like, oh yeah, exactly how you said it. Like it was very nostalgic. I was like, yeah, I remember him pushing those buttons, and also the levers. Had 2 of them, and they had cords attached to them. No, it was awesome.
Also looked really good. It looked good.
Yeah.
It did. It looked. You know, that's one of the better looking. Look, the show doesn't look bad per se, but like that was one of the better looking.
That's one thing that I can say about Star Wars since Disney has taken over, is that everything is.
Man, no expense.
They spare no expense. Exactly. I mean, they own this shit. They can do whatever the hell they want, but it does look good. You know, everything is pretty high quality. I did like how they had the droid in there from that video game, little droid. D9 or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that. I was like, okay, cool. But yeah, that's pretty. I mean, like again, I thought that, and this is just my opinion, but I thought that the Mandalorian was only going to be in like half the episode, and then they'd eventually kind of get back with Boba Fett. I didn't know the whole episode was just going to be devoted to him, and it was going to be in the book of Boba Fett. It's a Mandalorian episode. I was like, okay,
I think
what does that say about your confidence in Boba Fett in telling that story?
I think when they were, you know, conceptualizing this particular show, they were like, yo, he's got to be in there somewhere. You know what I mean? And then,
and I have no problem
as things
yeah.
moved on. And look, who's to say? Like, as things moved on, as they started writing these episodes and things of that nature, maybe they just felt like at this point in time, yo, how about we throw a full show about fucking Din Djarin?
Din Djarin.
Yeah, we throw Din Djarin in for a full episode, let you know where he's been this entire time, and then move along. I'm anxious to see what these last two episodes hold because like he said, they're going to war. That's what he told. That's what he told her at the end of last episode of Mandalorian.
I wanted to whip it out.
That's what he told her. He said, "I'm gonna whip it out."
I'm gonna whip it out.
Yeah, but he said, "I think war is coming or whatever." And she's like, "You know, it depends on where you look." He's like, "What kind of muscle?" She's like, "Depends on where you look." So I they got the muscle they need. Also, I thought it was odd when he was taking off his weapons, which was kind of a funny scene. But putting all his weapons in that box. He had to dump all of those little like he dumped them out individually instead of taking off the entire thing. I was like, oh
yeah.
Well, even the rope, he had to unload the entire thing.
Yeah. I thought overall when that was put together was pretty good. I was just like, damn, that's got to be a pain in the ass to put that shit back in because
Oh yeah.
But overall, though, I thought it was a great episode. I liked it. It's got me excited for the next episode. That's for sure.
It's the best episode of the season.
Yes, to me it is. Yes,
definitely.
Yeah.
And we'll see how the next episode turns out. I think it's gonna be really good to see them back together again and kicking some ass. But that is our take on the book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Hey! I just wanted to play it again.
I know. I was gonna do it too. I was like, we gotta do it at the end.
That's funny.
That's hilarious.
Well, guys, that's all the topics we have for today. We're at the 2-hour mark. I want to thank everyone who came out here. I want to thank Ryan, Phil, and ACS, of course, for providing another fire stream, along with myself, too. And, guys, if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the channel. I know we're on 2 different channels right now. Sorry about that. But on the 4Nerds Network, subscribe to that channel. And make sure you smash the like button on both streams if you can. And I know Dawson hates this, but let's go around the horn. Ryan, where can they find you?
You can find me on my personal channel, Zeeverfett. Guys, don't forget to leave us
John Cena!
That's dumb. You're dumb.
There you go. Don't forget to leave a comment for us. We will interact with you guys. We love having you here in the chat. A lot of people don't get to see us live. If you do want to interact with us, if you have anything that you'd like to add on any topic that we've covered this evening, let us know in the chat and we'll get back to you.
Sorry, that shit just there's you know how there's a bit of a delay. It just played on where I have the actual stream up on here, and I just saw that fucking Luke. That's dumb. It's just fucking. It looked without even hearing it. Shit looks funny.
Yeah.
Jesus.
All right, Anthony, where can they find you?
Yeah, you find me on social media at 2279 ACS. Several days a week, just like today, Thursday, 4Nerds. Tomorrow, my show. Sundays, World's Finest. Mondays on Andre's show, of course. And on Tuesdays, Instant Replay, man. Just got a couple more episodes of that left before we take a hiatus.
Dude, that was, dude, that was a fire episode of Instant Replay. Dude,
Well, because I went off.
Anthony went off. I was just like, whoa. Everyone in the chat was like, oh, shit, he's going off.
Yeah.
Shit.
Congratulations! Congratulations! Congratulations!
Such a
What was
weird intro.
I know, it's so weird. It's so weird.
Yo, what was okay? That's
I don't want this stunted slime in my sight again.
Oh.
And then, Phil, where can they find you?
On the social media handles, just at Unfiltered below. You can also listen to my podcast, The Eternal Night and Superhero Stress. Yeah, that's about it. You can also find me here on the 4Nerds Network. You can also find me on That Guy's show every Fridays every now and again. And you can also find me on his show every occasionally, sometimes, maybe, Monday nights, and sparingly on this guy's show.
Find him everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
And obviously, you can find me on the Nickatina Show. Like, share, and subscribe.
Check out the merch. We got a lot of Spider-Man merch, and
that's not even our merchandise, though. That's the other.
What is
I Love You merch, and Avengers merch, and Marvel.
Ryan
stuff.
makes all of this.
I don't make any of this stuff.
I totally forgot what the website is, too.
I forgot too.
It's
Fandemoine?
Fandemoine. I think if you use code word Nimwa, you save some money on some.
You save money when you put Nimwa down.
That was well done. That was well done.
Congratulations! Congratulations!
No one cares.
He likes that dude.
He does.
He does.
He's got the other one where the dude's at the piano. He's like,
Yeah. I whenever I see that dude, I'm like, that's Dawson. This reminds me of Dawson. I'm like,
Dawson.
Dawson. Okay.
Dossier.
All right, so we will see you guys. We'll see some of you guys tomorrow over on the ACS Universe. Is there going to be an ACS Universe tomorrow?
Everyone tomorrow, yeah.
And then, of course, obviously Sunday, World's Finest.
Late night movies.
And
Late
night
movies.
movies.
Forget about that.
Almost forgot because I've been busy moving and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh yeah, it's all cleared
Oh
up.
yeah, it is cleared out back there.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Oh.
yeah. Sad day. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have one last late night movie in this office at some point tomorrow night or Saturday. We'll see.
Nice.
All right, guys, and we'll see you guys next week for 4Nerds at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, right here on the 4Nerds Network or on the 4Nerds channel that we're not using anymore. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys the next time.
I wanted to whip it out.